Any last minute tidbits before we jump into this bullshit?
Having a vagina is not that bad.
Apparently.
That's what I heard.
It's words to live by.
Back. This is John.
Hey, it's Paul.
And it's Eric.
It's What If Geeks. We're going to hang out and, oh, look, we got a studio guest, too. The man who wanted to get the hell away from the estrogen.
Right.
Eric's dad is here.
Now you have to explain that.
Yeah.
Why you said that.
Oh, my God. Okay, yeah. So we got everybody over for dinner tonight. Eric's parents are in town. So previously when we did the Joker, or the review of Joker, there we go. Got one. It only took me 2 tries. We did it over at Eric's house, and we recorded it at his dining room table with everybody. So if you guys listened to that, you heard everybody, including Aunt Ann and Heather, Becca, Marty, everybody. So today we had everybody over to my house for dinner before we recorded our candy level episode. And we got on random topics of womanly things in the dining room, or the women did, and then it escalated pretty quickly into a dumb conversation about a friend of mine whose dog was, how do I keep this? Is a tangent and a half.
Yeah.
Anyway, he had a little Chihuahua, who his pee was crystallizing in his urethra, so they were getting ready to put him down, and the vet was like, well, we could actually save him, and he rerouted the urethra and cut a little slit, so basically gave this male Chihuahua a vagina. And so I told my friend, are you seriously giving your dog a sex change? And he said, John, it was the only way to save him. So I told him, listen very carefully to me, because we're good friends. If there's ever a time when you are the only one in charge of saving my life, and that is the only way to do it, you have to let me go. And to which Becca turned to me, Eric's wife turned to me, and looked me dead in the eye and said, they're not that bad. And I said, no, I'm quite fond of them. Why am I having this conversation with you? So then we all went out to start the podcast, and 30 seconds later, Bob comes walking out. There's too much estrogen out there for me. I'm leaving.
It's only going to get
Come
more.
on out here.
It's only going to get more when my wife and daughter get here.
Yeah, exactly. So throw them a raft.
Right.
Swimming in the estrogen ocean. Yep. Sorry, Bob. We didn't mean to leave you out there. So, yes, that was that conversation. So, there you go. Rather than Florida Man, there, you've got estrogen conversation.
No, listen, we're in Florida, so that counts.
So that counts. There you go. That was my personal Florida Man
I feel
story.
like giving your male dog a vagina is probably a Florida Man thing.
Yeah.
It should be if it isn't.
Should be, yeah. It's Florida Man adjacent.
Right.
Because I told the story. All right. So, what we're going to do here in our random Halloween series of episodes that we're doing, we got like all kinds of conversations that we do, and one of the ones that I actually did hear someone else kind of do similar, and we're just going to kind of run off on a tangent and see what happens with it, because we don't plan shit. And it's basically kind of like leveling the type of candy that we used to get as kids, and just discuss some of the things about like trick-or-treating. So we'll really get into like the whole trick-or-treating aspect, and maybe we'll rename this. It won't be candy leveling or whatever. It'll be something about trick-or-treating. But, yeah, trick or geek.
All right.
There you go. So we'll go from there. We'll start talking about trick-or-treating, and then we'll see what happens. Anybody want to start? Anybody got any ideas? What was it like growing up where you are? Like, I lived in Staten Island, so it was similar to this, but the houses were like, we're all split family.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a lot of families, like in one street. So we used to like canvas like 5 or 6 blocks, drive our parents crazy.
I grew up in central Illinois. Our town's not too big, mostly around the neighborhood, but We do have a huge hospital in our town, so there's like sort of the rich neighborhoods where the doctors live or whatever. And the best thing to do on Halloween was to get over there, because these fools would hand out like full candy bars and stuff, and that's where you wanted to be. Not the sadistic lady next door giving you handfuls of pennies, but
Right.
Right. Yeah. We'll really get into that.
And it's amazing how back then that word spread quickly, even though there was no like Twitter or Instagram to be on. But you're like, that house is giving out full candy bars, and every kid beat a path right there.
Yeah, I think that's what they actually based the business model of Twitter on.
Right.
Is kids at Halloween.
Yeah. How you spread that message.
How does this get out that quickly? A 7-year-old on a bunch of M&Ms and Three Musketeers.
Yep. I grew up in Pennsylvania, so we all grew up north. And so did you have those times where your parents tried to make you wear the coat over the costume?
My parents were pretty lackadaisical about that.
And Bob's over there
he shook his head.
Like, no,
He was like, get out of here.
Yeah, if I froze, I deserved it probably. It doesn't get like brutally cold where we were from. I mean, it does get brutally cold, but not at Halloween.
Right.
It might be 40s. It might get to freezing Halloween sometimes, but you're a kid and you're running around and you're trying to jog between the houses, and get as much candy as you can. So it was never too bad.
Yeah.
We definitely wore the.
We wore the jackets, or you try to stash it somewhere. Like if it really messed up your costume, like in your parents, my mom would be like, "Don't forget your coat or your hat." I'm like, "No, I'm not wearing a hat." Wear the hat, and then you stuff it in the mailbox, and then go.
Yeah. Or you try to get like if you got you remember the costumes that everybody had with the little plastic mask and the rubber band, right? And it was like the plastic garbage bag looking whatever the hell thing that you put your body into. You tried to like get your coat through that so that you can wear it over your coat, and it always ripped.
Yeah,
down one arm.
It was that, and it's that weird like you knew if it caught fire, it wouldn't burn. It would just melt. Yeah. It would just melt to your skin.
That was just what you looked like.
Yeah, and we talked about this the last time. That mask, you could barely see out of those holes in the mask,
and you couldn't breathe for shit.
Right.
And the little bit of like condensation and sweat from your breath,
build up in there.
Yeah, pulled in the chin
right
thing,
in the little chin thing, and then you'd like go to say something to somebody, pick it up, and you just like drop a whole bunch of sweat on top of your head.
So you ended up wearing it like on your head, like pulled up until you got to the house and about to ring the doorbell, and you had to put it back down.
Yeah.
But there was like He-Man or Batman or G.I. Joe or one of those.
Yeah, I don't remember.
You're like, I get 10 years younger than us, right?
Give or take. I actually don't know.
44.
I'm 37.
Oh, okay, yeah, so 7. Yeah.
49.
Okay, never mind. 4. Fuck you. Okay, this became the Pick on Junior episode. It does explain a few things, because there have been a few times when we've been having conversations, and Eric looks at me like he's completely clueless to what I'm talking about. I'm like, how the fuck do you not know this? And I'm like, okay. I thought it was only a few years. All right, it's 7 years.
7 years. All right. Okay. And you were
49.
49. Oh, so
We'll get you a walker later.
You got a whole generation on it almost.
Yeah, just about. Jeez.
But you guys both grew up in fairly populated areas, right?
Yeah. Who's chiming bells over here? Was that me? You?
Wasn't me.
It sounded like your computer, to be honest.
Oh, okay. Random. Bing.
Yeah, I think you get a message on Facebook or something. That's what that ding sounds.
It'll be all right. So what was your question?
You guys grew up in fairly populated areas, right? It's like a world apart. I've found out, I grew up in a not so populated area and then moved to a populated area, and I've lived there for most of the rest of my life. Well, not there, but in
populated areas.
Yeah.
Right?
It's dramatically different. Like crazy different.
Where I grew up in Staten Island, like every house, except for like the real rich, like houses that we have here are going for like millions of dollars out there because it's crazy because they're single family, whatever, But you go there and it's split families, so you come out on the porch and your next door neighbor was on the same porch with you, so you shared that porch together, I mean, it was wide. It wasn't like a teeny tiny little porch. It wasn't like an apartment, But then like you pretty much shared the driveway next on the other side, so they were like boom, 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 boom down there, So there were lots of houses to hit. A lot of times you'd be like, bing bong. Trick or treat. Step to the left.
Yeah.
Bing bong.
Right.
Okay, back down the stairs.
Yeah, we definitely didn't have that.
We definitely didn't have that either.
Yeah, so where we were, it was much more spread out. Everybody has, 60, 80 foot wide. No, they're 40 probably. 40 foot wide lots. They're more? They are more? Okay, so they're big anyway, so you gotta run quite a ways. Even in the, not rich neighborhoods, it was like that.
But there weren't subdivisions like there are here, so it was like just a bunch of streets, and you'd go 2 or 3 streets, and that'd be your night.
Yeah, so my dad could probably attest to this, but we did theoretically have subdivisions, but it didn't really feel like it until probably, I'm going to say late 90s, early 2000s, when they started building like formal subdivisions like outside the city or whatever. Right. And then it was much different, and they were completely separated, and they had their own like retention lakes and all this stuff, and every house was custom built or the builder had some part in it. So yeah, that's all he's ever done. So
and that's like here, where you have like here is different, without naming any of the neighborhoods.
Well, it's like 2 or 3 styles of house, right?
Yeah, but like I'm saying, like for the neighborhoods, how like you have this neighborhood, you have that one over here, you have that one is blah 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 west, whatever, right? I'm not used to that. Like for me, it was you lived on streets,
right?
So
yeah, exactly.
There was none of this. Now you did live in. There's a little bug in here. You did live in like Richmond Town or the town of Great Kills on Staten Island. Like that's where I grew up. Is the town of Great Kills, right? And
the town of Great Kills.
That's a good Halloween name.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
that's straight. That's straight out of a Halloween movie.
Right? Totally.
Or a mobster movie.
Yeah,
it is Staten Island.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Don't ask me any questions. So yeah, there were random towns in there, New York, Duncan Hills, whatever. But it wasn't like here where each one was like its own little secluded neighborhood. It was just one neighborhood flowed into the other, and you knew the cutoff at some point, Mm-hmm. And then over there's the projects. You got to be careful over there.
Yep.
Looking like a speck of salt. Never mind. Sorry. Yeah. And then with the sponsors.
Right.
All right. Nice. 11 minutes. Okay.
Did you do pillowcase for
candy? Yeah. I was going to ask that.
Yeah.
So pillowcase was my main go-to.
Yeah.
We usually didn't have buckets or anything.
We had to. Use a pillowcase. Actually, the pillowcase was like the most hopeful of the
I don't think I ever filled a pillowcase.
No,
but
I came close.
I don't remember. I don't remember seeing like the plastic pumpkin bucket. Like I think that's a relatively new thing.
I'm honestly not sure. Not having it when you're young, I don't know if it actually existed or not. But
I had the plastic pumpkin.
I mean, surely we had plastic buckets to like.
Of something.
We'd go to the beach at a lake,
right.
By the way, because we're in the Midwest. But go to the beach, you'd have a plastic bucket, but we didn't use those for Halloween.
No,
I had the pumpkin bucket with the plastic
pillowcase.
Yeah, but then I switched
gunny
over to the pillowcase.
Yeah,
the gunny sack. Yeah.
Yep.
I feel like I want to plug in the other mic and just have it sit here.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. All righty. So now, where the fuck were we? We were talking about.
We were talking about trick or treating.
Yes. Oh, yes. And the bags we used.
We got the bags.
Yeah. We were using pillowcases. I said I did use those little plastic pumpkins.
Right.
And then I graduated to pillowcases pretty quick.
I'm not sure I ever used a plastic pumpkin.
I didn't either.
I was always
city folk.
What kind of privileged child were you?
See, exactly.
Wasn't allowed. My son couldn't walk down the street with a pumpkin. Plastic.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of self-respecting.
He would have got his ass kicked. By me.
The kids would have beat him up in the neighborhood for sure.
That's probably true.
What did you trick or treat with, Bob?
Gunny sack.
Gunny sack. There it is.
A paper bag too. My dad used to work at.
Go ahead.
He used to work at a grocery store, a grocery store supplier, and he would bring home number 5. It was number 5 bag, correct?
I don't know what number, but this guy used to organize the bags by number underneath, and also cans by number underneath his sink
by their size number.
Yeah.
Okay, so the number. I was going to question the size of the bag. Okay.
Some things are for lunches, and some things
number
are
5 was a lunch bag.
I feel like I do the same thing with my Ziploc bags now. I get mad at my kids. I'm like, that's not for that.
These actually had numbers on the bottom of the bag.
They had numbers printed on the bottom, and he would sort them by that. He was kind of OCD though. I mean, kind of my ass. I guess he was really OCD.
Sounds like it.
Kind of.
No, you got a lot of them.
Yeah, probably. He used to keep every newspaper they would get every day.
So much about Eric.
And he stacked them. So they had a basement. It was unfinished or whatever, storage area. He would stack those papers in chronological order in the basement. I'm serious, man.
For how long? Like how long until he got
his whole life until he died?
Oh wow,
yeah. There must have been I don't even know 100,000 papers down there.
Holy cow!
It was insane. It was insane. In fact, it had left the basement after a while and gone up to, so that they had a bunch of kids, you know. But one of the kids' rooms had those papers stacked up on the bed because he was running out of space in the basement. So
That's what they slept on. It wasn't a mattress.
Right,
It was a fucking newspaper with a sheet over
there's
it.
actually some truth to that. But
See, I know.
If you want to go into that,
yeah, we're gonna get on a serious tangent here.
We had 6 kids, 2-bedroom house.
Oh, yeah.
Mom and Dad had one. The rest of us had the other one.
Yeah, I get it.
They did do an addition on the house, though, right? Later,
Yeah, not till I was a teenager and almost ready to leave. I left home at 15, so
Yeah, it was interesting. He used to his dad used to watch me sometimes after school or whatever.
Right.
We'd have like the same 2 meals every day. I mean, he'd rotate them, but it was like bean and bacon soup and a peanut butter and butter sandwich. And then, what the hell was the other thing he used to make me?
Bologna.
Bologna sandwich.
I'm sorry,
there was
peanut butter and butter.
peanut butter and butter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, broccoli cheddar or something was the other soup he used to make all the time.
and the dog ate that too. The Chihuahua.
The Chihuahua, yeah.
The Chihuahua with the vagina.
That one did not have a vagina, I assure you. He might have given you a vagina.
Right.
The most aggressive little Chihuahua you've ever met in your life.
That's funny.
Tiny, they called him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god! All right. Let's
Anyway,
get
so
back on,
back to
Halloween.
yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, okay.
My grandfather's house was not the one you went to on Halloween, by the way. It wasn't one you wanted to go to.
What'd you get? A newspaper?
You might get a penny if you're lucky. I don't know. I don't even think he bought candy.
Yeah,
did he?
they bought candy.
Did they?
Yeah.
That's actually for like, let's jump into the candy.
Yeah.
Because I've got like at the very end of this like the types of houses
Alright.
from both perspectives.
One
too.
before we get to candy. Did you do Mischief Night? Was the night before Halloween? Was that a thing?
Oh yeah, let's get into that.
Mischief Night was like the other 364 nights for me. I don't know. No, I didn't do a Mischief Night. Was
Ours
that like
was
a
more on-
organized event?
Yeah, pretty much. Like all the older kids did it.
Yeah, all the
When-
older
when
kids,
you
that's the night
stop
you-
trick or treating. You start being an asshole. Well,
Yeah.
Some of us kind of did it at the same time, but you start kind of like in Staten Island. What we did was it was pretty much the same night, Halloween, but it started the night before and then it extended into Halloween because we had a whole bunch of assholes. You ran around with like cans of shaving cream and eggs and toilet paper.
Oh, we did that on
Yeah.
Halloween night. Yeah.
Yeah,
For us, it was
ours
the night.
Halloween
The night before was Mischief Night, and that's when the bigger kids would go egg cars and toilet paper trees and.
No, I think when we did it, it would be on a Halloween night. It would usually be like you're passing by somebody's house that you don't like or whatever, and then you throw toilet paper in their tree and keep moving along.
I think I told this story about my father.
Oh, this is a good
on the
story.
right?
Yeah. Tell this.
But I'll tell it for you guys. So my father was a cop in Brooklyn, and he and his partner, I think at that point they might have been detective or they might have, but either way, they were riding around patrolling in Brooklyn, and they saw a bunch of kids with a whole like wagon full of fucking eggs. So they pull over and they confiscated the eggs. This is going back in like 70s, 80s, right? They're like, come on, no, we know what you're doing. So they take all the eggs, and they were in like a side street. So they load all the eggs in their patrol car, and then they pull around, and they come around the other side of the street, and they jump out of the car and belt the shit out of these kids with their own eggs. Unloaded on these fucking kids.
Sounds like something right out of a movie you'd see in New York City.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Your dad was a detective.
Great
for
kills.
real?
Yeah.
That's funny, dude.
Yeah.
That's quintessential New York, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I got tons of stories like that. But yeah, that was one around Halloween. That's good. But yeah, so it's I didn't put as much research into this as we normally do because Eric normally does all our research, but he's been busy with family. So I guess we can kind of roll through some of the like the candy and shit that we remember growing up with, and I can like rattle off some of these as we go, and you can just tell me whether or not it's a level 1, 2, or 3 or ABC. How do you want to do it?
We just do sort of the good stuff and the really crappy stuff.
Do you guys have like an absolute favorite that you love? Is there like a candy that's
yeah,
like
Reese's Peanut Butter
your
Cups.
top Reese's Peanut Butter Cups?
Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Reese's Peanut Butter Cup is
Done.
my favorite chocolate candy, and then non-chocolate is Swedish Fish.
Oh, what the hell? Oh, I hate Swedish fish.
Really?
I
Yeah.
go more like Skittles or something. But
I like peanut butter cups. I think Butterfinger's probably one of my favorites.
Butterfingers.
yeah.
My dad's on board.
Whoppers.
Apparently it's genetic.
the Whoppers,
Yeah, Whoppers.
Oh yeah.
That's good. Do you have a candy that you absolutely hate?
Necco wafers.
Oh man, that's going back.
That's like chalk. That's,
Yeah, that is chalk.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, for your dad, it would just be candy.
yeah. He played with dirt,
I mean,
dirt and
No,
spoons. when he was
dirt
young.
and spoons is what we played with.
Yeah, so he probably did eat chalk. you have a most hated candy?
Necco wafers are pretty bad. I go back and forth on black licorice. Sometimes I like it. Sometimes it's terrible. But Good and Plenty is pretty terrible.
Good and Plenty, yeah.
Yeah, that name is half a lie.
Yeah.
There's plenty,
It's accurate.
Yeah.
but they're not fucking good.
I think for me it was Sprees, that like pure sugar crunchy one. I fucking hated those.
I'm not a fan of Smarties.
Or Smarties. Smarties is what I was actually thinking of. I said Sprees, but no, Smarties.
Yeah,
is
I'm
the
not a
one.
fan of Smarties.
I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
Smarties.
Smarties are like, they look like little pills or something.
Yeah.
They're little round ones.
They
and
come in
they're
a-
pure sugar.
I've had plenty of pills, but not any of them.
You just, as soon as you put them in your mouth, they sort of melt away, and it's just pure sugar.
Yeah.
You remember those? You remember those sticks we used to get?
Oh, the Pixie
The
Sticks.
Pixie sticks.
Yeah.
And you dip them.
Taste pretty much just like that.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
not the ones you dip. The ones that were in a little tube.
Oh, he's
and
talking
you
about the
just-
Lickamaid. I remember.
Oh,
Lickamaid.
Yeah, he was
Oh,
talking
my
about
God.
Lickamaid. Yeah. That
One
was
where you
actually
would-
Yeah,
because
you
there
dip
was
it
some.
Little candy stick, and you would dip it into
Dip it in the pouch thing.
But first you had to get it wet. Otherwise,
Yeah, right, you had to lick
put
it
in your
first.
mouth. Yeah.
That's what she said.
There was some. There was some entertainment value
okay,
to
come here.
those, though. I guess
Yes.
that made them better because they were also just pure sugar,
sugar.
with a tiny bit of flavor.
Reagan's here. It's just
Reagan, what do you
she's getting
need, my
nervous.
love?
What's up? Huh?
Oh, really?
She needs a squishy. Come on, dude. What's wrong with you?
I don't know. I would not recommend eating these.
Yeah, no, not the squishy. Oh, jeez. It looks like candy, though. You don't have to worry about interrupting us. Noah comes in and says goodnight to us every night.
It will be a candy soon, just like the Tide Pods.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are going to be a candy.
That is going to be my favorite
You know that
candy to give out.
I'm going to tangent on you again, but you know that Glenlivet whiskey brand? It's really popular.
Yeah.
They made pods of whiskey.
Really?
Of course they
Yeah,
did.
yeah, they were marketing it. I got a Facebook advertisement the other day.
Oh, that's funny.
And it almost looks like a Tide Pod without the color.
Right.
It looks like a little plastic pack, and you put it in your mouth, and it says the advertisement said something like you get a burst of the flavor or whatever.
The plastic sort of melts away in your tongue, and then
it's
you
not
just get
plastic, I guess. It must be gelatin or something.
Get a hit of whiskey.
Yeah, and you get a hit of whiskey on it. It's like 20. It was something small, like 28 milliliters maybe in a packet. It wasn't very.
So it's not like getting a shot, right? It's not like
yeah,
a
it's not quite
mouthful
a
of-
shot. No. I'm thinking that's really bizarre. Why would anybody want to do that?
Oh, who
And
knows?
I must have seen
Somebody's-
Alcoholics.
Yeah. I was gonna say. I got a few friends that would.
I started
Carry
looking
them
at,
around in your pocket. You know?
I started looking. Maybe that'll be the next Halloween candy. Is what. But
Bunch
I
of
started
kids
looking.
stumbling around in Batman costume.
Yeah.
I started looking
Can we
at.
go to that house already?
I started looking at articles about it afterwards, and they were all the same. Like, appealing to the Tide Pod crowd,
Right.
and like, oh man, they're just smashing these guys.
Yeah, but it's crazy because the Tide Pod crowd can't drink. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
So they did Tide Pods and
Right.
they almost died. That was great.
Well, I mean, it was a joke, but
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not sure what they were thinking. I couldn't.
that's funny.
I wouldn't. I like whiskey. I wouldn't drink it that way.
No.
It's not even drinking it, is it?
No.
It's
You are talking about the what you put in your washing machine, right?
Yeah,
Tide
kids,
Pods?
were,
Okay.
kids were eating these things.
Yeah.
Like they were
Oh, they
candy.
were eating them?
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
Oh yeah.
No.
Sorry. My dad doesn't do Facebook or any
Oh,
of that
yeah,
shit,
no.
so he
this
probably
is
doesn't
what,
know.
a year
yeah.
ago.
What the hell is wrong with them?
Yeah, no.
Well, there you go.
They were posting videos.
I want him on the podcast.
It
all
was
the time.
called
I know.
it was called the Tide Pod Challenge, and people were recording themselves putting like those little Tide Pod things in their mouth and letting them melt away. I don't know what the hell.
I used to get that when I said a bad word.
Right? Yeah. Well, I
Now it's
started like
self-punishment.
after that. I was like, look, if they really
Yeah,
want,
what the-
I got chocolate syrup under my truck. There's a little drain valve there. You assholes.
All right. Did you have a least favorite candy? I think I skipped over you, Dad.
Least favorite.
Dirt.
No, the black licorice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
black
could
licorice.
not
Black
eat
licorice. is
black
rough,
licorice.
yeah.
No way.
No.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Another tangent because we already tangented once. But speaking of Facebook ads, right? Ever since our Joker review, guess what? I keep getting all over my Facebook feed.
What?
Glowforge.
Oh,
When I said I'm going to owe my
Right.
wife a Glowforge,
Right.
Yo, yeah,
somebody was
Somebody
listening.
heard you.
non-stop.
It was probably the 8 Alexas in my house that
Right.
were listening
Yeah,
to you.
exactly.
got voice
we
recognition
know who
on
that
it.
guy is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Non-stop.
John.
You can get it for this much a month. I'm like, son of a bitch. Yeah. You know you're on the hook for that, right? You have to learn the software.
I'm on the hook to buy your wife a Glowforge?
No, I'm
That's
buying
not
the
fair.
Glowforge. I already told you, I'm buying the Glowforge.
Just fuck with
You have to
Learn how to
do
use
the,
it.
you
Yeah.
have to learn how to use it so you can teach her.
All right.
Techie. All right, so
I'm here.
some
for
other
you, John. Here for you.
one of my other favorite candies. Here comes Mom.
What do you guys buy now to when kids come trick or treat at your house? What are you buying now?
Reese's peanut butter cups for sure, but I don't want to buy like 50 different bags, so I usually get those grab packs from is it Mars?
I was going to
think?
get into that one later, but go ahead.
But they have like Snickers in them. They have Milky Ways in them, which I fucking hated, by the way. Milky Ways in it.
Really?
It's got like a mix, like 5 or 6 different candies in it. So I always buy like one full bag of Reese's peanut butter cups for sure.
The Hershey's Dark.
Yeah,
That's like,
and then I'll get a couple mixed bags, and then I like those. Not the Hershey's Dark per se, but those nugget bags. You guys had those? Look like little gold nuggets or whatever. I was shape wise.
Oh, the Hershey ones.
Yeah. And they come in 3 different flavors.
Yeah,
I like those, and kids seem to like those, so I always get those. And then suckers. Yeah, a whole bunch of suckers. Because a lot of kids like suckers, as far as I know. One of mine does.
My wife wants to buy that bag of like the random candy. It's the giant bag of like random candies
that you've never heard of.
Yeah, and I'm like, you're gonna get us, we're gonna be that house. Yeah, we're gonna be that house in the neighborhood that gives out the bad stuff.
Look, we can get 2 for 1 on 4 Musketeers.
Right,
what?
right.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, why'd you get a bunch of 2 Musketeers bars?
2 Musketeers.
Oh.
Trivia for 3 Musketeers. By the way, that is like probably after the Reese's peanut butter cups, or until I discovered Reese's at a young age. 3 Musketeers was like my favorite thing, and I didn't even know what the fuck nougat was. But
I still don't know. I'm still not 100% sure
I'm
what
not.
it is.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but just Bob's about to tell me and burst my fucking bubble.
His first name is Ted.
Do you know why they call them 3 Musketeers?
No.
Yeah.
Not from the book?
No.
Okay. No, then
Do you know why? Do you know why they were originally called 3 Musketeers?
Because of the chocolate, the nougat, and the marshmallow?
No.
I'm close, though.
You are close. Yeah, it's 3 flavors. It was like a Neapolitan. There was a strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate. Yeah, he's real close. I figured going back a ways, he might have seen something.
I hate that ice cream, too.
Yeah. I was like, for a second there, I'm like, who the fuck's giving you ice cream on Halloween? And he just, hold out your hand.
No, just the...
But it's because it's not good chocolate, it's not good vanilla, it's not good strawberry. It's,
really
like 3
not.
crap, like... Those together are normally good, but it's like
the shit
bad
they
chocolate.
shaved off of the good stuff
Right.
and they stuck it in a...
Right, it's bad chocolate,
who
bad
loves
vanilla,
it,
and
though?
bad strawberry.
My youngest child and my oldest grandfather. I think there's some kind of commonality there.
There might be.
Papa Sam.
Yep, Papa Sam. He was like
So yeah, but that's why they were
94.
called 3 Musketeers. They had 3 different flavors. All right, so randomly we'll just roll through a few of these good ones and let me know what you guys think of them.
Just in case I didn't say it, I hate 3 Musketeers too.
You fucking communist.
I hate Milky Ways. I hate 3 Musketeers.
They're not my
What is
like.
wrong with you?
I don't know, man.
If you know how like someone at your
punch his
office
puppies
has
for a
that,
living.
has
I think
that,
it's for me because I don't like them either.
Oh, jeez.
you know, like
It's genetic.
you find someone with a bowl of like those little tiny candies, and you're like,
Yeah, I'm picking through them.
yeah,
I'm like,
I am too.
where's my Snickers?
yeah, I want the Snickers.
Where the fuck are my Snickers now?
See, I never liked the Snickers up until I got older. Something
What?
about peanuts.
Snickers
yeah.
is the
Who's a
best.
heathen now? You don't like Snickers?
I don't like whole peanuts in
Oh my
anything.
God.
I don't. I like the very idea of like a jar of honey roasted peanuts and only honey roasted peanuts. But then, like after like
All right.
a small handful of them, I'm like, I'm done.
So do you like a payday bar?
Yeah, paydays.
Oh,
definitely.
Paydays.
Payday
are
is
epic.
good.
Oh,
So what
yes,
you're saying is
sir.
the 3 of you like nuts in your mouth.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to
Should
wait
have
for that
seen
one.
that one coming.
Yeah. I guess
Guilty as charged.
Not on my chin.
Oh shit!
There go the sponsors.
No, yeah, no, they were gone already.
For a second time, were there any left?
Yeah.
Yeah, they snuck back in like, oh shit! I don't know. That was talking about nuts in their mouth.
Mars was like, yeah, we might do... No, never mind. Yeah.
I want you guys to be spokesmen for. Oh my god, that's not where that goes. All right, so we skip over Milky Way because you didn't like that. How about Twix?
I'm down with Twix.
Yeah,
I
I'm down
love
with
Twix.
Yep, Twix are good.
That's my wife's favorite.
Kit Kats too.
What the fuck is with the Twix commercials?
I was about to go there.
Yeah.
Can we have a conversation with their marketing people?
They're really
left
strange,
and right,
right?
and left and right. and
Yeah.
left-
I know it's
Shut up,
it's supposed
asshole.
to be funny, I guess, because the left and the right are the same, basically. Right?
Right.
But,
It's which one you eat
but
first.
But I mean,
I guess technically it's funny in America because the left and
Yeah.
right are so far against each other.
Yeah, and I think
you
that's
think
what
there's
they're
a political play on that? I didn't.
Oh
even
wow! I just
I
picked up
didn't.
on that.
I didn't until just now, and he said,
Oh yeah,
Oh,
no
well,
kidding.
then
I
either.
just popped
Oh, you think?
that-
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
what
that's
it's about. Okay.
from
It's
the
gotta
very
be what it's
beginning.
about.
No, I guess that makes sense. Now I have to go back and watch the commercials and see which ones have the
Yeah, I
rich
just
guy
saw-
going, I
Right,
prefer left Twix.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is.
Yeah, I just figured it out. Holy shit!
I hadn't thought of that till just now.
It just popped in my head. Every once in a while, a random genius thought
Yeah.
pops in my head, and if I don't spew it out on a recording, I have no proof. I think Kit Kats, right? You said you like
Kit Kats. I'm
Yeah.
down with the Kit Kats.
Yeah, those are definitely like.
That's
What do you think?
delicious.
Like level 1, like okay. If someone think about when you're a kid, right? You go to a house. As I'm naming some of these off, how do you feel about that house, right? So like Kit Kats, Twix, or,
Top tier, man.
Yeah.
Top tier
You
for
telling
the
all
Kit
your
Kats.
friends?
You're telling all your friends.
yeah. All
But
right,
even
how
if
about-
you're getting like, even if you get the Milky Way or the something else, as long as it's decent size, like, all right, I can live with that.
yeah,
Like, I'll eat that last, but I'm eating it.
Yeah, to be clear, even though I say I hate them, I still ate most of them.
Right.
Yeah.
I wasn't mad about it.
Yeah.
Can someone tell me what the hell is going on with the fun size?
Are they getting smaller? Is that what's going on?
I just don't know what the fuck is fun about half a candy bar.
Yeah.
It's two.
I've
It's
never-
2 bites, right?
Mhm.
Because there's the minis, which
Right.
are 1 bite, and then the fun, which is 2.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then there's the regular, which is like 8. I don't know.
Sure. Well,
Maybe
it
maybe
depends.
it's 2. Also, it depends on
Depends
on
how
how
much
big-
you
yeah.
like it. but-
Depends on how fat you are, as you're both looking at me. Yeah, so I don't know. I like the idea of being able to give out full size candy bars. I can't do it though.
Yeah. Mounds Almond Joy.
Well, I'm an Almond Joy guy personally because I like nuts in my mouth. Apparently.
Heather didn't hear that one. No, I didn't. We'll tell you later. Here's the thing: I've never had either.
Really?
Yep. I've
Oh,
wanted.
they're both delicious.
When I grew up watching the commercials, I was like, right away I was like, I know I'm not gonna like the Almond Joy because nuts. The other one, Mounds, whatever.
Mounds
Mounds.
does not.
Mounds was the coconut,
Almond
right?
Joy has nuts. Mounds
Mounds
don't
don't
because
Sometimes you feel like a nut.
sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
Thank you. Wow. All right. You can send.
Hey,
Roy-
Mars is back as a
That's
sponsor.
You can send your check to. I always said, I like the idea of Mounds, and I just never picked one up because I would go to the store and see something else I wanted.
That's the thing about those two. You have to be in the mood for that. Like, you go to the shelf and you're like, most of the time I will ignore those. I'm like, nope, not feeling Mounds, not feeling Almond Joy.
I mean, it's definitely like it's extreme on the coconut, right? We don't have a lot of candies, at least not here in the U.S., that are like heavy on the coconut, even light on the coconut. To be honest, there's not very many at all.
Yep.
That is like over the edge.
Yeah.
You got to really love it.
Yep.
Really love it. But I think for me, that coconut with that almond, awesome.
Yeah.
And I think over time, I didn't love them as a kid. I mean, I would eat them, but I didn't love them as a kid. But as I got older, outside of kidhood, I started liking them, and I would buy them at the store. Or whatever. Like, oh yeah. And I love that they come in the little. I don't even love it, but
There's two little
ones
thing,
in the package, right? It's like 2 little 2-nut pieces. It's a pear. It's a pair of nuts
Pair
to
of
put in your
nuts.
mouth. Oh, how about that?
There goes the sponsors
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Because you don't want just
They just
one.
came
nut.
back. 'cause
We
you
sang
missed-
for 'em
You
when you
missed
were
when
gone.
these two idiots sang the Mounds and Almond Joy commercial.
Oh, they did?
And
Yeah, we
the
did.
sponsors came running back.
You don't want just one nut in your mouth.
One ball. Yeah, one ball.
Sorry, Freudian slip.
Hi, Fro. I want to take note that the only one not drinking.
Right, yeah, the only one not drinking. Said
Okay.
balls.
Also, I should caveat that, like, all my quote-unquote hatred of nuts growing up has nothing to do with a gay joke. It's just, I just really dislike the taste of them. Whole peanuts.
So-
But I love peanut butter.
So no Mr. Goodbar? No Mr. Goodbar?
I love
But
Mr.
yeah,
Goodbar
now,
too.
Yeah, Mr.
again, which is something Heather makes fun of me for, is she's like, you don't like roasted cashews or whatever, or roasted peanuts, whatever. She's like, but you eat the shit out of peanut butter. I would literally eat, take a jar of peanut butter and a sleeve of Ritz crackers and sit there and then wonder why
you just
I'm
like
260 pounds. But
You just like
creamy.
the cream from the nuts. The cream from the nuts is what you're after.
touche, fucking
Cheers.
touche. Yep, There you go. I don't need to make all the work. I want the reward, damn it. Fucking assholes.
Baby Ruth is another one that has the nuts and the chocolate that I used to love, man.
This podcast took a turn and a half.
This is taking a terrible turn. This was supposed to be for the children. No, not really.
Yeah, no.
Oh, it was for the children, all right. Don't worry, CPS is coming too.
So you know when you have that Hershey's mix bag, right? And it's got the regular Hershey's, the Mr. Goodbar, the Crackle.
Yeah, Crackle. Oh, I like Crackle too.
Yeah, I like Crackle too.
Ghetto Crunch.
And then there's that weird special dark one.
Oh, that's,
Dark Crackles. Yeah.
Mom, I got into the bacon chocolate.
I actually like the special dark.
There's only there's not as many like on the bell curve. There's like fewer of those.
Yeah.
I'll say this: when I was a little kid doing the Halloween thing, I wasn't into dark chocolate. But then I lived in Germany for several years, where unsweetened chocolate or partially sweetened chocolate is the norm, and I really got sort of more of a taste for it. And now I love dark chocolate.
Really?
Like love it. I like it more than regular milk chocolate. Easy. No problem. If I have to choose, I'm taking the dark chocolate. Wow. So now I will eat those special darks because our kids don't want them. None of the kids in the neighborhood want them. Yeah. So I just eat all the special darks.
His dad taxes the
special dark.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll take it.
But all right, so on that bag, right? How do you feel about the regular Hershey's bar?
Oh yeah, that's good.
It's just a
mediocre.
Standard,
Yeah.
You know what that's? Especially at my age now, I'm just like, all right, that's America. That's just
right.
You know, it's like M&Ms.
It's chocolate. It's not great chocolate. It's just chocolate.
It's chocolate. Yeah. I'm not going to kick it out. Right? Yep. It's kind of middle of the road. So to me, that's just like a standard America thing. And then like M&Ms, same thing.
M&Ms,
peanuts.
Well, so now you have to be careful now because M&Ms have taken some evolution since we were children.
Holy shit, right? They have. Have you been to the M&M store?
Do you do peanut M&Ms since you don't like peanuts and anything? Oh, no.
Love peanut M&Ms.
Yeah, peanut M&Ms.
Fucking Paul is judging me like
that's right.
Don't they make an almond one now too?
They do,
yeah,
which is also good. That was one of that. That's that light tan pack they have now. They're almonds.
Yeah, I completely avoid them. I'll do the regulars. I'll do
they have
the peanut
pretzel pack, which I think is blue.
Pretzel's pretty
I
good.
like those too. They're
Caramel,
like a little salty in the middle.
Caramel.
I don't remember what color the caramel pack is,
like
but
orange or some shit
orange.
Like that, yeah. Or at least the orange M&M is the spokesman in the commercial. Because they look at him like, is this guy going to be the spokesman? It's like an orange, two orange halves on the side of the, Anyway. I like the caramel ones. I like the Crispies. I like plain.
The Crispies.
I like the plains. No one likes the plain
pack,
ones. Yeah. No one likes the plain ones. I have no problem with the plain ones. You can get White House M&Ms.
White House. Oh, I have some. I have some at home.
I don't know why you'd want them. But okay.
Well, I haven't eaten them. I left them in the box. But there's M&Ms from the White House with a presidential seal on it or whatever.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got a pack of them from like we did a tour like my man must have been 10 years ago by now. But
I was hoping he was going to say the Reagan administration or something.
No.
So you have Obama M&Ms or Trump?
No,
M&Ms?
it was pre-Obama.
Oh, it's not. They're not red.
They're blue.
It was when I was still in. Remember me and Hector? We did that tour of the White House and the Capitol building or whatever.
That was during
centers. That must have been
Clinton. Had to be Clinton.
No, I wasn't.
Reagan.
I think no.
You weren't born then.
Well, I guess I was born Reagan. It had to have been 2005.
Bush?
Yeah, my guess. It's probably Bush. But anyway, they gave
one
us
of them.
They gave us the white.
It was a Bush.
They gave us several packs of the White House M&Ms, and I of course ate some. They're no different, but I did keep a pack, and nice. I still have it. I still have it back at the house.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Yeah, cool.
That's going to be our picture for this.
They're probably still good.
Hang on to them.
Yeah. As long as they weren't from the Clinton administration, you never know where they've been.
I used to have a bottle of Dom Perignon 1969, but I drank it.
You're not supposed to do that.
I know. It's worth about $400,000 right now.
Whoops. All right, so I got one random, and I don't know if anyone's going to remember this. Do any of you remember Chuckles?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I do.
Cricket from the kid, yeah.
Yeah.
Google Chuckles.
It was like it's like a fruit flavored kind of goo.
Google Chuckles candy. Though.
It's like a goo.
Yeah.
Like with sort of a
Which
sugary.
Again, this is saying a lot more about me than the nuts in your mouth.
Yeah.
So.
With the sugary thing on the front, they were like fruity flavors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had like the red, black, green, orange, and
I
yellow.
remember
I think. That. Yeah. I used to love those.
Those are pretty good.
Our first, I guess, exposure to them was my mother used to work a part-time job at like a bingo, and she would bring them home. And then my father worked security part-time before he made detective. He worked security part-time somewhere at like kind of a flea market place, and he would bring a bunch of them home sometimes. So it was always like, did you bring me Chuckles? Yeah. So yeah, it was random candy. But every once in a while, I'll name them, and someone will be like, "Oh yeah, right." This is random fucking candy. Or I'll see them in a candy store, and I'll be like, throw like 5 of them. Give me those. I guess he must have gone to piss. So he's gonna come back and be like, "Talk about Chuckles. We're gonna be on something else." What other good candies do you remember before we get into some of these really shit ones? I mean, we got Skittles. You got
Milk Duds, lollipop, any kind of lollipop, blow pops,
Dum Dums.
Tootsie Pops are pretty good, and they're big, so it feels like it takes up a lot. Like you feel like you're getting something good.
Chews.
Wow,
that's a crazy. Yeah, I hadn't thought about those in a long time.
That's a good one.
Those are better cold.
Yeah.
Yep. Of course, I mean, I already mentioned the Ghetto Crunch, so you got Nestle's Crunch.
Nestle Crunch.
That went with whatever. Did you find Chuckles? No, you can Google it.
Is that what I'm supposed to call it?
No. So, all right, I guess we can explain Chuckles later. I don't know.
You guys were talking about Chuckles the whole time I was gone?
No, we started to move on, but we just thought it would be funny if you came back in talking about Chuckles. So it was just kind of a, like you said, like a chewy, creamy, gum-based candy. It was like fruit flavors, but they had like sugar sprinkled on them. Kind of weird, yeah.
Oh, okay. I actually do remember those.
Yeah.
I don't think I feel like they had a different name. Maybe there was an off-brand or something.
Yeah.
It was like a
gumdrops or something.
They were very similar. They were
or like fruit slices.
Giant. Yes, they were like fruit slices or very giant gumdrops. But that's the best way to say it. Thanks. As opposed to creamy, gooey, whatever the fuck.
Creamy, gooey, nuts in your mouth. Yeah.
All right, on to some of the worst. What candy pissed you off?
Hold on. You can't go. You can't go there yet. We skipped $100 grand. I don't remember.
Oh,
ever talking
100
about
grand.
100
So I
grand.
love
The
them.
caramel chocolate.
Yeah,
bar.
you bet. In the red packs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a good one.
You can still buy them today.
Yeah, I think you can.
Yeah,
do you guys like Heath?
Yeah, Heath bars.
He was a
always
great
favorite
choker.
That was an English toffee covered with chocolate.
Yeah.
Heath bar.
That's hard to eat though, right? Because the
it
chocolate
is.
comes off as you're eating it, and you end up with toffee, which is fine.
It is, but Butterfinger did the same thing to me, and I still love Butterfinger.
Yeah.
Another one that I think they don't sell anymore is the Zero bars.
No, they got them.
They still have those.
do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Still have zeros.
I remember them. I just don't never seen them.
They're white chocolate on the inside and dark chocolate. Oh no, white chocolate on the outside.
No, white chocolate.
Yeah, they're white chocolate.
It's a white wrapper. I know that.
Yeah, it's got a
white wrapper. It's not white chocolate.
It's white too.
Somebody have to look
On the
this shit
outside.
Just Macklemore brings you a bunch of candy.
up. Who?
Did you,
Thank you. It's a white
did you ever have
wrapper.
a Clark
Never
bar?
mind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Clark bars.
Clark bars are good.
Yep.
Yeah, that's crunchy peanut butter on the inside.
Yeah. There you
Instead of like Reese's that's creamy.
Yeah. Crunchy.
You might like crunchy, try it.
See, you never know. You don't know until you try it.
And then there was one I liked with Nugget. Do you remember the Charleston Chew?
Oh, we were just talking about that.
Yeah,
Your
just
dad
said
brought
that
it
while
up.
you were
I
gone.
missed
Your
that
dad
while you
brought that
guys
up.
were. I'm sorry.
That's okay. No.
Which is better. I said it's better cold
Yeah.
because then it doesn't stretch out and the
Right.
chocolate gets weird. Like you just crack it.
Yeah. And then Reese's Pieces. Now those are newer, but
Yeah.
I still love them.
Yeah. Why did they become so popular?
E.T.
E.T. You think that was it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
But now, do you know why they became popular? Because of E.T. E.T. initially went after Eminem.
Yep.
And Eminem was like, no,
We don't want to do that. Yeah.
So they went after Reese's, and
Yep.
Bad move.
yeah, right. So yeah, I in fact, I do like Reese's better than I like M&M's, but
All right.
Side note.
So I'm not quite done.
No,
Sorry.
go ahead. You're never
I know
done.
you want to go to the bads. and
no,
I
well,
have a-
no, because I was about to actually.
I have a
since
lot of
you
bads,
segued,
but-
you reminded me that I wanted to ask Bob if he's got any like really favorite stuff he remembers from.
Back when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Back in my day.
The apples that weren't poisoned, that kind of thing.
I don't want to do too much of that shit before he kicks our ass, but yeah, pretty much, yeah.
You have any?
But since we've already made
favorites?
gay jokes
that,
around the
that,
table.
like don't exist anymore, maybe.
Yeah, shit like you just don't see anymore.
Oh,
like basically bring your take to the podcast.
real candy apples. Where
People gave out candy apples like with caramel and peanuts.
yeah,
and shit?
yeah, still warm after they
Oh.
just dunked them in the caramel. Oh yeah, and you ate them right there. You didn't put them in your bag, otherwise our candy would be stuck to it.
You do that. You give that away today, and someone's calling the police.
Oh, I know.
Someone's calling the police.
Yep. Let's see, they used to do the crispy. What are they with?
Rice
Marshmallow,
Krispies?
Rice Krispie treats.
Yeah.
Oh,
They used to-
Homemade, yeah.
They
See,
used-
anything homemade from
So
back
they
then,
they actually
can't do.
still did Rice Krispie treats when I was a kid, at least where we live. Like I said, we weren't a big city, but there would be people that they would wrap them in plastic
Right.
or whatever, but
Yeah.
they'd still give out Rice
Yeah,
Krispie
so you couldn't do
treats.
that
and
where I
my
lived.
parents
You'd
weren't
have
worried about
parents
it.
at your door,
But then,
like,
I remember a scare. It was probably late '80s as a rough guess, where people said like, they were poisoning candies or whatever, or things they
the
made. and
putting
then-
needles and razor blades in
yeah,
the candy.
that kind of
Yeah.
shit.
Turns out that never happened.
Yeah,
There
well,
was
I
no
remember having that
confirmed case.
discussion.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
had
we
that,
had that
we had
the
that
other
talk.
day,
There was
yeah.
no confirmed case of the candy.
But
and
that pretty much ended it anyway.
Yeah.
Well,
Whether my parents
exactly.
would have allowed it or not.
If that would happen in our town,
Well,
they would have
yeah.
been dead.
Yeah.
Probably,
Yeah,
probably
exactly.
true.
But I remember
people in front of the house.
Not long
pitchforks.
after that story
My
sort
town,
of
too. Great
spread all
kills.
over the place, I remember when I was like just old enough to sort of stop trick or treating. The stories would be like, "Come take your bags of candy down to the hospital, and we'll X-ray them for free."
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't do that where we were. I really don't remember.
Then you wondered why you had a whole bunch of X-Men running around the fucking town.
Yeah. But yeah, you could get apples. Every now and then you get like an apple or something, and you're like, "You suck."
Brownies.
Yeah.
We used to get brownies.
But no one's doing that now.
I look for those now. No, wait.
Wrong kind of brownies.
Yeah.
Those are for daddy.
Oh shit.
I understand you can get them at the video store now.
Yeah, pretty much. Jeez. It took a turn again.
There he goes. Twizzlers.
Oh,
So I love Twizzlers. I actually
okay.
rarely got these at
the
Halloween.
fight
though.
between Twizzlers and Red Vines.
No, Twizzlers are better. Dude.
Twizzlers are way better.
Twizzlers are you know why Twizzlers are better? Because if you go, this isn't Halloween per se, but just if you go to a movie theater and you get some Twizzlers, that can be your straw.
Yep.
For the whole movie, whereas the Red Vines would disintegrate into nothingness in your Sprite or whatever.
Yep. Twizzlers.
Nice.
Twizzlers are where it's at.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh no, I agree with you. I was just throwing that out there for a conversation. It wasn't much of one because we all agreed. It failed miserably. There was another thought in there. It went away. All right, so I guess we'll move on to some of the worst.
Oh yeah, okay, I'm down
right.
for that. I have a whole bunch of those on my list.
Yeah, because I know since we just talked about homemade shit, we'll go to our side of town.
Yep.
Paul and I, where we grew up, if you got homemade shit, it was probably getting thrown at somebody.
Yes.
Right? So anything homemade where we grew up in the cities, because we didn't trust anybody. Right? So you got caramel apples, popcorn balls, Rice Krispie treats, that kind of shit, right?
Yeah.
Brownies. They were just weapons now because you knew, like, nope, don't go to that house because nobody trusted it because it was so ingrained in our personality from being in more of the urban or city areas.
Yeah.
No, someone's going to poison you, so you just got rid of that shit. So we would throw it at people. Okay, pennies. How about pennies?
Pennies or change is the worst.
It pretty much is the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lady in our neighborhood that would do like a bag of pennies. Like she sort of wrapped them up in something, and it had like a little poem or
cellophane
note
thing.
attached to it. Like, what are you doing, lady? I'm sure it was not.
Poem
If you
attached
actually
to
if
it?
you actually took the time to read it, it said "Go fuck yourself."
It might have, or it might have been like a beautiful verse that may have stayed with me forever. But I was like, pennies,
It might
go
as well
after
have
yourself.
said, "Go
Yeah,
fuck yourself." Yeah.
yeah.
All right,
That's
so
a lot of extra weight to carry around.
it
too,
is right. Extra
You don't
one.
want a
You don't want
pillowcase
that.
full
Kills-
of pennies.
You don't
Oh,
need that.
Man.
You kill somebody.
Nobody needs that.
Hey,
That's a weapon. That comes later.
at my age, that was a good one.
I feel like
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I mean gas was 34 cents a gallon.
This is true.
All about perspective.
When I first started driving and I was living in Jersey, I can remember going over to Fort Dix Army Base and the gas there was 90 cents. I actually remember it before it was $1, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Yeah, and now look at us,
I feel
them pennies that lady gave us could have gave us a quart of oil in our car.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. See? It's all about perspective.
But that wasn't true 30 years later or 40 years
Okay,
later
so
when
here,
we went through
all
her
right.
neighborhood and she was still given the same bag of pennies.
Oh,
So,
this is true. Yeah.
But she's my age.
Inflation, bitch, inflation. So what amount of money would have been okay?
what, like now or when in the 80s? Or,
both,
well,
whatever.
80s for me. I guess it might have
Whatever.
been the 60s for
What
you guys.
what
I'm not
stops
sure.
him being... Wow.
Wait, I heard a claim
You
that
know,
you
for
were
a guy-
significantly older and there was this big gap that was really...
For an asshole who does all of our
Really
tech work,
telling.
math is really hard for him, isn't it? Fucking 7 years older than him. You were born in the 60s.
I'm just giving you shit.
Yeah, me and my goddamn DeLorean buggy.
Right.
Go ahead. So what? When you were growing up, and then now, if you see your kid comes home with some shit,
Oh, well, now, okay, so when I was growing up, I probably would have needed at least $1 or $2, probably.
Yeah.
Been a fair amount.
for
Like
house,
a bill.
for kid?
Yeah.
Wow.
And don't put it in a sack of 100 pennies because you're an asshole for that. I mean, like an actual dollar bill. Maybe you could give me 2 50-cent pieces. I might do that. $2
See, I'd have
bill.
been all right if you like dropped a
your best
couple
friend.
quarters. And,
But the
I'd-
dollar
yeah.
bill wasn't worth shit. The copper was.
right? Right? Yeah.
But
nah,
now I'm not even sure.
I'd have been like, all right,
I feel like
50 cents would have been good per house.
my kids
I'd be
now
all right
would
with.
scoff at $1. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't care.
Yeah, well, you know, the tooth
In fact,
fairy
even
brings them
getting
20
them-
fucking bucks a tooth.
Even getting them excited about $2 requires a $2 bill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's unique.
You know
Yeah,
exactly.
as
Yeah,
he's digging into
for
the
the-
pocket to get the
Which is
$2 bill out.
why
For the tooth fairy,
Again,
we had to go get
again,
dollar
you do
coins.
realize this is an
You
audio
carry one?
only.
I do realize this is audio, but I just
Okay,
want you to
thanks.
see that I carry $2 bills in my wallet.
Wow.
Because it's the only way to get the children interested in $2 are these $2 bills. So I have several of them.
We had to do. We went and bought we got a bunch of gold, the gold sort of Susan B. Anthony's dollar coins.
Yes, I remember those.
We got the
Okay,
gold
yeah,
ones for the kids when their teeth fell out. And we did the tooth fairy thing. Yeah, we got the gold coin.
I used to get excited over the you remember when the quarters changed and they had one for every state?
Yeah.
We all used to try to collect them. Yeah. Not quite a Halloween thing, but yeah, same thing. If you would get quarters for Halloween, then you try to see if it was
Right.
something you didn't have already. So these two are reading IOUs out.
Well, you know what's actually interesting about this is that this $2 bill is more than 40 years old. That's in my pocket.
See?
Yeah, most of them. They don't. Do they make $2 bills?
They
anymore?
actually did. No, they did. They did print a series of them recently, and let's see if I have one. Yep, I do. 2013, they printed a series of $2 bills.
Holy shit.
Oh wow.
So it hasn't
Somebody
been that long.
randomly found that
So-
print and
Random sort of sports thing tangential to the $2 bill. When Clemson goes to a bowl game, Clemson fans all sort of get online and tell each other, go get a bunch of $2 bills and take this sort of Clemson mascot sticker and put them on, so that when they go to New Orleans for the Sugar Bowl or somewhere for the other bowl, they can sort of tell vendors can see the money come in and they figure out it's from Clemson people, and so they actually feel like they're making more of an impact directly on economics. And everybody knows, like, right, your team goes to a bowl game, yeah, you're going to make a lot of money,
right.
but like, streetcar
showing
vendor,
that
like
they're-
the hot dog vendors and the guy selling beers on Bourbon Street and all that stuff, sort of see Clemson fans come through with the money, and they're like, and they want to go, hey, try to get Clemson back.
Right, got it.
It's
Okay,
like sort of
yeah.
making themselves visible to.
Has that
pretty
actually
smart.
done anything for them?
I don't know. They're just
Does
like
anybody
that.
look at the money they have?
Yes, it's done.
I
If
just
you get a
realized-
enough to
if you
get
get a
Paul
$2
talking
bill
about.
and,
Yeah, well,
and it's
so-
got the Clemson Tiger Paw logo on it, yeah, you'll start doing
Yeah,
this.
maybe. I just realized though that
when you
one
get
of-
75
one
of
of
them,
these $2 bills I have says Robert Wallach Associates. It's stamped on the bottom, and I have no idea who this is or where I got this. So.
well, there's a free plug. For God's sake, if there's anything bad, we
just
not
bleep it out. Just bleep it out.
doesn't do anything. Yeah, I got Paul to talk about it on this podcast, so now 8 people know about it.
That's right.
And they also know about Robert Wallace. Jesus,
You can't even say it right. It
I don't know. What was it?
was Robert Wallach.
Oh, Wallach, whatever.
Wallach.
That was William Wallace.
Lick is a theme tonight.
Freedom! Sorry. All right. So some more bad shit. We went through a whole bunch of it already. We went through black licorice.
Yep.
Thanks, Bob. Yeah, that shit sucks. Anytime. Ever. We went through Necco wafers. Those things. I'm pretty sure. Oh, I know. I'm getting back to that. I'm just going over what we've already
Okay,
gone over.
okay.
Thanks.
Like, don't skip that one.
I know. Oh, it's coming. Yeah, Necco wafers suck ass. It's chalk. Do you know one of the flavors is actually clove?
No.
Why?
I don't know, but if Bob's asking that, we're in trouble. Sorry, I set you up for that one. Good and Plenty is already on there.
Yeah.
Candy corn.
It's one of the worst
Yeah,
ever to
terrible.
exist. I don't know why. Who invented this? And what the fuck is it?
I don't know.
Carnies.
But hey, Captain Google, why don't you real quick look
do it.
up how much it makes every year? Because holy shit, I don't know if people buy
Whatever
this
the
shit.
quantity, whether it's 1 pound or 1,000,000, it's disgusting.
No,
Here's-
it's
no,
just
they
like-
make a lot of money every
It's just
year.
like Peeps.
But do people actually eat them?
I like
Yeah.
Peeps.
Or do they just get inserted as like decorative items?
That's what I was
and-
thinking. Like
yeah.
maybe it's just you're buying them by the pound to decorate shit.
First of all, what flavor is it? I'm not even sure what flavor is in the candy corn.
It's like a marshmallowish thing. But
Why
it's
the
not.
fuck is it called corn? Candy
It
corn.
looks
What-
like
what is
corn.
It looks like a
Like a
No,
like a
sorry,
kernel of
kernel
corn.
of
It's
corn.
supposed to be a
No,
kernel of
kernel.
corn.
Stop
corn.
right there. Because I grew up in the Midwest where there's nothing but corn for miles around us. That does not look like a corn kernel. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. That does not
Okay.
look like a corn
not one
kernel.
you would eat.
It's a triangle.
The National Confectioners Association estimates that 35 million pounds
Oh, my
of candy
God.
corn are sold annually.
If you assume a pound per person, which I feel like is a lot.
What sadistic fuck is eating all this
Yeah.
candy corn?
So
There are 35 million people that need to die tomorrow. Because
I'm going to match
Well,
this.
I've been
I'm going
saying
to match
that
this
from the
up.
start of this podcast, and none of you listen to me.
I'm going to match this up to something we talked
Candy
about a long
corn's
time
gonna
ago.
be the turn.
Candy corn every year gets me. I'm like, oh, candy corn, and you try some, and you're like,
too.
oh, that's right, I hate that.
Me too.
But every year you're like, oh, candy corn. Oh, that's right, that sucks.
Me too. Similar thing happened to me in marriage. I did them 3. No.
no, seriously, it has to be one of the worst. That is one of the worst candies to exist. It's
I'll caveat that
sugar
with this
and
marriage
cornstarch.
is a good one.
It is, and it's
shit.
But it's uncomfortable to eat too. It's like it melts in your mouth into this weird. It's not even
Instantly,
like I would rather eat a spoonful of sugar than whatever the fuck candy corn is made of.
There you go, Mary Poppins.
Okay,
Yeah, seriously.
the original name of candy corn, chicken feed, was the original name of the candy, with production starting in the 1880s. Wonderly Candy Company was the first to produce the candy. Following the 19th century, the Goelitz, Goelitz, confectionery company, now called Jelly Belly, manufactured the product.
Jelly Belly?
Along with other agriculture-inspired treats at the time, the late 19th century, America's confectioners sought to market candy corn to a largely rural society.
Okay.
Here, candy corn is a staple of the fall season and Halloween holiday in the United States of America. The taste of candy corn can be described as somewhat polarizing and has been the subject of wide debate.
Somewhat polarizing.
Okay.
Well, that's
all right.
accurate, I suppose, but
Just because we need someone to blame, because welcome to 2019 is it's everyone blames everybody, right?
Here we go.
Who?
I'm sorry.
Who do we blame for candy corn?
apparently Jelly Belly.
Jelly Belly.
Jelly Belly, you said that? Okay, I missed that.
Originally, the candy was made by hand.
Jelly
Manufacturers
Belly, they're amazing. Sorry.
Manufacturers first combined sugar, corn syrup, carnauba wax, and water and cooked them to form a slurry. Fondant was added for texture, and marshmallows were added to provide a soft bite.
I have a
The
question.
final mixture was then heated and poured into shaped molds. 3 passes, one for each colored section, were required during the pouring process. The recipe basically remains the same today. The production method, called cornstarch modeling, likewise remains the same, though tasks initially performed by hand were soon taken over by machines, blah, 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 as will the rest of our lives. As of 2016... that's not in Wikipedia. I just
That's
made
a
that up.
What If Geeks ad lib.
The rest of this is from Wikipedia.
Very true.
As of 2016, annual production in the United States is 35 million pounds, or almost 9 billion pieces of candy. Every year, there are 9 billion pieces of candy corn made.
Okay, you see?
So
What the fuck is wrong with you people?
Can
That's
we at
number
least
one.
assume that 8.9 billion of them are never eaten? And they
I
just
hope.
get thrown away? I feel like there are grandmas. In fact, I might know some, not my grandmas, but that keep that candy corn dish on their table for like the entire year, and nobody ever eats them.
Has California outlawed this yet? Is carcinogenic?
No, it's not. It's not carcinogenic. They haven't outlawed it.
Or
Pretty sure those are the fuckers that are
environmentally
eating.
unsafe.
Yeah.
So, Captain Google, side note, what the fuck is a slurry?
Oh, a slurry? You know what a slurry is? No.
No, dude.
No, it was just my one chance to go on. A slurry is just a mix of like a powder
Shit.
and a water, basically, to make a... Have you ever done the cornstarch and water thing?
Maybe.
Mix the cornstarch and water up?
A slurry is a mixture of solids with specific gravity greater than 1 suspended in liquid, usually water.
Jesus Christ, I was kidding.
Again from Wikipedia.
Holy fuck! Never mind.
Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Polopedia. That's your new name.
That's right.
I'm lowest common denominator. You're Polopedia. The fuck are you?
All right, so where the fuck? Oh, you know what? He reminded me of something when he was talking because he was talking about that carnauba wax shit. Do you remember those fucking candy lips?
I put that in my car.
Oh,
no.
Candy
Yes. The
Wax lips.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hated them.
Oh, here's
they
the
had
other thing.
fangs.
Hated them.
Here's the other thing. This is on the list. Those little wax bottles with that little bit of
with a little bit of
sugary-
juice in the middle,
Yeah.
a little bit of sugary juice. It's
Yeah.
not juice. It's
whatever
it's
that
sugar
is.
water.
Yeah. But you had to eat through like a foot of wax to get to it.
Now this is gonna be amazing. Sometime.
Yeah,
It's gonna
at
be
some point.
amazing.
No, those were awful.
Those are bad.
too. Those
Oh yeah. All right. Good. I think. Wow. Candy corn killed us. I fucking hate that shit. I'm sorry. Ironically, what you put on the worst, I used to love as a kid. Now I don't think I can eat them anymore. Circus peanuts. Peanuts.
That's
I've known a few people to eat the other circus peanuts.
the orange things.
Yeah. They used to be multicolored too.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I don't know. Because they're all the same fucking flavor.
They're just like Peeps, only peanut shaped instead of a chicken.
Yeah, and they're of a weird
Well,
consistency.
No, but they're not. Yeah, they're not the same consistency as a peep. Because at least the peep has more of a marshmallowy type in the middle, while the circus peanut does. Okay, hang on. Let's just get it out of the way.
They're still both
circus
crap.
penis. There, I can't stop not almost saying it. Circus penis. There.
circus peanuts. Have you got it out of the way now?
Yeah. My slurry.
Yeah. You're slurrying your words.
I'm slurrying my words.
Right.
Yeah. So the circus.
How does the circus penis feel in your mouth?
Kind of nutty, a little creamy. Mars, where you going?
Right.
We need sponsors. Okay. Anyway, they're a little bit of a different texture. The circus peanut is harder.
I didn't go there. You're right. One's older.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to What If Geeks therapy session.
Right.
We have no idea what the fuck we're talking about anymore. All right, so it's just a little bit of a different consistency, but I used to love them as a kid. Like right with the chuckles. My parents would bring those home too, like a bag of them, and I eat the shit out of those things. I love them. And then
If you got a bag of
older-
them, if you get a bag of them trick or treating, you're like, this is bullshit.
yeah, like when I got older, I was like, I went to go like, oh yeah, I picked them up one day. I was like, oh, these are good. I ate one of them. I was like, bleh.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that? I guess apparently I've refined my palate a little bit. Not quite to dark chocolate, but you know. All right. So moving on. How about any regular fruit? Someone gives you fruit in a trick or treating situation.
I kind of like apples personally, or I did when I was a kid. I still kind of do, but not as a trick or treating
Right,
thing.
yeah.
I know I
Because
was
I
gonna
could
say,
get
like, you're
apples
just
all
like,
day.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
Get
So
apples,
no fruit.
Apples whenever you want. So they're not.
And again, I don't trust it. I don't know why I trusted candy more than I trust
Well,
because
so I was fine with it until all that bullshit started circulating, and then I was like, "Oh, I don't want to eat this thing. I don't even know what's in here."
How about coupons?
Oh God,
Oh, that can.
no.
Or toothbrushes?
Oh, yeah. There's always one person who's like,
There's always
"Here,
that
kids, you're gonna
one
need a
cunt-
toothbrush,"
I
and you're
mean,
like, "Screw
sorry.
you."
Hey, back to the fruit. Raisins in the little boxes.
Those are okay. Yeah.
Oh, the
Yeah, I
sun-made
like
raisin
Yeah,
things.
sun-made raisins. If you don't have that little chick on the box,
Yeah. Yeah. Don't give me the generic. Don't give me
Yeah.
the white box that just says raisin.
It's like the White House M&Ms kind of. But
Golden Dun raisins. What the fuck? Yeah. But yeah, the sun-made raisins were good. I like those. But yeah, so yeah, I guess that would be like the only fruit that I would have accepted as a
does
kid.
that even count?
Well, like,
See, in my head,
fruit.
as a kid,
It's fruit. That's
yeah,
fruit.
But as a kid, in my head, it was
Eat your
wrapped in a box,
raisins
It's a
from
dried
so it was
grape.
safe.
yeah.
It was safe, you know.
Well, you,
So-
I know as a parent, like, you pass off raisins as candy. Like, oh, you want something sweet? Have raisins. And my kids are always like, it's not the same.
Yeah, I have had a Skittle.
There's no added sugar, Dad.
Right. This is not going to do it.
All right, so coupons.
Who gives coupons?
Yeah, no, I don't think
You never
anybody
got
does
them?
that anymore. No, I got them as a kid, but I'm
I
not
used
sure
to get
anybody
them
does that
like
anymore.
McDonald's. Now, I would say I would get like McDonald's coupons, and for the first year or two, because you had to have that extra year to forget the pain in the ass it was the first time. You got in the first time, you're like, oh, cool, this is cool. I can go to McDonald's and get, a sundae or whatever. One, provided the fucking machine was working. And two, provided you can get your parents to take you to fucking McDonald's.
Right.
So, there was those two things going against you. But, yeah, in the beginning, when the first time I saw them, they were cool. Second time, I was like, oh, yeah, these are kind of cool. And then after that, nope. Fool me twice. Yeah. That's it.
All right.
And,
wait, you got coupons, you said.
Yeah, like
Well,
gift certificates.
back in my time, it was S&H green stamps.
I remember those.
Oh, shit.
I do actually remember those.
And you'd put them in a book.
Yep.
And you'd collect enough of them. You'd get appliances.
Or a canoe.
Or a canoe. Or a leather jacket. Or it was...
So they were like the Marlboro Miles on the back of my Marlboro
Yeah,
Miles.
that's what I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
I don't
Holy
remember these
shit.
green stamps, but I do remember the Marlboro Miles he used to collect. My
That
dad
would have been
used to
fucking
collect.
amazing.
Yeah, no.
And there was like
Ironically,
boats
it
and
was-
jackets and all kinds.
Yeah,
of
it was
shit
much
in that
funnier
catalog.
with the cigarettes because you got to smoke like 80,000 packs of cigarettes to get a canoe. And who the fuck is canoeing after that?
You had Marlboro Miles.
You don't have the
so
lung
I had
power.
Camel Bucks.
Yeah.
So.
Camel Bucks.
Yeah. I was the Marlboro. Yeah. So, but yeah.
Yeah, but we had S&H green stamps, and they were actually
remember the
worth
S&H green
money.
stamps. Yeah,
We
yeah.
actually, when we were growing up, when I was growing up, in my dad's house, right across the street was an S&H green stamps redemption center.
It's a Walgreens today.
Yeah, it's a Walgreens today.
Where would one get S&H green stamps to begin with?
Grocery store.
Yeah,
grocery
you get
store?
and other vendors.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, if
we'd
they
give-
participated. And there was this machine.
right,
And they had to...
pumped them out.
It pumped them. Yeah.
For every dollar you spent, you got so many green stamps, and you'd put them in your book, and you'd save them, and
You had to lick them, and you had to put them in this
lick 'em.
book.
Yeah, just like
And then you had the guy that said, like, 27 books would get you, whatever.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Wow. I never knew that. That's cool. I learned something today.
I'm going to...
I typically do.
Let's see if it's on Wikipedia.
All right, S&M green stamps and wet strippers. What the fuck? All right, let's recap what we were just talking about. We were trying to explain to Bob the recording process and how we kind of come up with the shit that we do. Go ahead, Eric. Give a brief.
Sure, we were just talking about the outlines we do for the show and how we lay them out. My dad said, "Hey, can you do like a transcript where you give a printout of everything
Of
that
what
you said?"
we actually said, yeah.
Yeah, and we said, "No, you can't. We don't have the capability to do that." But then he was talking about text to speech on his phone, so he tried to do a text to speech to his friend today. And
What is that?
It was you
Yeah,
tell
Bob.
him it was.
Well, it was raining out. I was trying to explain to him what the weather was like here, and I said it's especially wet. And what it came out on the text was, the strippers are especially wet. I go, no.
Yeah, there's actually a whole website.
He's on his way.
Yeah.
That guy's on his way down.
There's actually a whole website dedicated
Bob
to
was
this.
there with the $2 bills.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you guys ever seen DYAC? Damn you autocorrect. There's a
Yeah,
whole
I've
website
seen-
dedicated to
yeah.
when you try to type something or say something and the phone
You
fucks
need to
it
look
up.
into that, Paul.
Oh, that's funny.
There are some hilarious things. My favorites are like when a kid is texting to, like a teenage kid is texting to their parent or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And it turns the whole
Like,
thing
I'm
sexual,
pregnant
and
or
the
some
parents
shit.
is like, "What? What?"
Bye, honey. I love you.
That fit perfectly into that.
Yeah. It was a good time.
My wife and kids just left.
So did my wife.
All right, so S&H green stamps. So
Yeah.
we were talking about those earlier, and then
Yep.
Paul looked it up while we were on a break here.
S&H
so.
green stamps were a line of trading stamps popular in the U.S. from the 30s until the late 80s. And so, yeah, they were given away at, started in the, Sperry and Hutchinson, which is the S&H, began offering stamps to U.S. retailers in 1896. And based on the retail organizations that distributed the stamps were primarily supermarkets, gasoline stations, and stores. They bought the stamps from S&H and gave them as bonuses to shoppers based on the dollar amount of the purchase. Stamps were issued in denominations of 1, 10, and 50, perforated with a gummed reverse, so you had to lick them and stick them in these books. 20 books contained 24
Lick 'em and
pages.
stick 'em. That was the name of my band in college.
I played bass for Lick 'em and Stick 'em.
That's going to be an ongoing bit. You know that, right? Okay.
The books had 24 pages with 50 points each, so a book contained 1,200 points. and then you can go exchange them for stuff,
And you-
housewares.
Yeah, you can use them for
That's what you
housewares.
said. You
Apparently,
have $5
appliances.
would
Yeah,
get you.
it's kind of like cash back on credit cards now.
Yep.
Nice.
Only
Something
it
I
sounds
never knew
better.
about,
It sounds
right?
like you could collect enough to buy a washing machine or something.
Yeah, or refrigerator, or
Yeah.
radio, or
Nice.
Wow.
pair of shoes.
I thought you were gonna say parachute.
Yeah,
I did too. I thought he was going
Get
to
your
parachute.
Yeah.
Did you skydive a lot?
All right, and then
Unreliable airlines.
the other thing that happened just as we stopped was Eric brought up Skittles.
Skittles. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Because I'll go back and
I
cut that
probably
part
have
out.
a laundry list of chewy candies that I hate, and Skittles is among the top of
Yeah.
them. And I know a lot of people like Skittles, but for me, it's no good.
I love Skittles.
Me either. They stick in my dentures.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
I love Skittles. I hate their commercials. Other than Taste the Rainbow.
Yeah.
It just became an
I can take 'em or
ASM
leave 'em, like-
commercial.
Like,
No.
if that's all there is and I really want something sugary, I'll eat them, but I don't choose them. Like, I don't think I've ever said, oh, I'd really like some Skittles right now.
Yeah.
yeah.
I really just never had a taste for them. And, you know, there used to be a funny prank that my friends would play on people, say post-Halloween or something, where they would mix Skittles in with M&Ms in like a little...
Oh, yeah, that's mean.
little cup, bowl, whatever on
Right.
the table, and then you eat them. Oh my god, M&Ms plus Skittles are probably the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
Hell with Skittles alone. But on that same vein, Laffy Taffy. I don't like
Yeah.
Laffy Taffy.
Oh, I like that.
I do not like
I like
Laffy
it, yeah.
Taffy, and I know people love it. And when my wife and I were in South Carolina, it doesn't matter what place, but anyway, we're somewhere in South Carolina where they were making like Laffy Taffy on a boardwalk, and she's like, "Oh my god, I gotta have it!" And they were making like 15 different kinds. I don't want any of that.
So,
Yuck.
real saltwater taffy
Yeah, that's not the same thing.
is different than Laffy Taffy.
Yeah.
Like, real saltwater taffy is
Yeah,
good.
awesome.
Laffy
It's
Taffy
really
is
good.
almost like an Airheads.
Laffy Taffy,
Airheads. Oh, my kid.
Airheads?
No,
Yep.
no, run
That's-
over all of your kids for Airheads.
Oh no, Airheads is on my
Airheads
list
are
of
good.
the chewy candies I can't stand.
He loves them.
Airheads are good.
I used
Real
to
saltwater taffy is really good.
Yeah.
Laffy Taffy's okay, but it's very fake tasting.
Saltwater taffy, you put it in your mouth and let it melt.
Yep.
No, sir, thank you.
Oh, it's really good. Watch it spin around on them forks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
All right, so also in a similar
Eric's
vein,
like, I lost my point.
yeah, no, I don't know where we're going, but
There was a thought going there.
yeah,
for a
also
second.
blow pops. You remember the blow pops that had the little chewy
The gum inside?
The
Yeah.
gum, yeah.
gum in the
that was-
middle?
Well, if you want to call that gum.
Also,
That's right out there with, was it the double bubble?
yeah. Well, this could go onto a whole tangent of gums because there was some awful like dry
We can.
Powdered-
Circle back to your citrus.
powdered gums that they had that were like terrible,
Yeah.
terrible.
Double bubble being the first one.
Yeah.
The only gum that I used to like getting was the Bazooka Joe with
Yeah,
the little cartoon.
Bazooka-
Oh, with the
Yeah,
cartoons.
cartoon,
I actually
right?
like
And you
those.
Yeah,
get,
but that gum
and
is
you
hard
got
as a-
baseball cards with it.
But that gum is hard as a rock.
Yeah,
Like,
it is.
Bazooka
It is.
Joe?
And
You have to
it's-
like keep it in your
yeah.
mouth for like
it
a couple
softens
minutes
up
until,
as you chew it, but then
Yeah.
if you keep chewing it, it gets like super stretchy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
that was
you
a-
can't
yeah.
continue chewing it or you have a jaw ache.
But if you take double bubble and do that, and then spit it back into the wrapper, you can actually reform it into double bubble and give it to somebody, and they would not know the fucking difference.
That's
That-
called recycling.
The heyday of gum was like Bubblicious Hubba Bubba.
Back when we used to all
Like-
get baseball cards.
Yeah.
and
yeah,
you get a
it came
stick.
in the pack. It ruined the top card.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, like the pout not it's like a sleeve of gum. Like Bubblicious and Hubba Bubba were like really sort of
Oh,
thick and
Big League Chew was another one.
Oh,
of
yeah,
those,
that was-
right?
I used to
Yeah.
love Big League
Big
Chew.
League
Oh
Chew
my
is
God.
I actually like Big League Chew.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
like
thought
that
I
one.
was big because I bought Big League Chew. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm a big boy now.
That's right.
Fuck Pampers. I'm a big.
All right, so off the chewy, but staying on the candy. Jolly Ranchers. Fucking hate Jolly Ranchers, man.
Don't
No,
care,
I've
don't
never
care
been
for
a Jolly
them either.
Rancher fan. No.
Except for the root beer one. The
I think
root
one
root beer's pretty
yeah,
good.
maybe it was a root beer one, but it was only one time for about 5 minutes. I enjoyed a Jolly Rancher, and then after that I went to go get another one. I was like, yeah, no, I'm good with this.
Yeah, it's a weird you have to be in the mood for that
Because
sort
again,
of thing.
it's one of those like it'll stick to
Yeah,
my teeth.
correct.
And then I'll be
Oh.
sitting, when I'm not paying attention to
You have
it.
dentures too?
No, almost. I'm missing half of my teeth.
Back to that sticky candy, Dots.
Oh,
and
Dots.
Dots
yeah.
and Juju fruits.
Now dots, they still
Dots
have
is the
at a lot
spawn
of
of the devil, I think.
They still have dots at a lot of the movie theaters,
Yeah.
right? They still do those.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Juju, were they Juju bees?
Juju fruits, Juju bees.
Juju.
Juju
I
fruit.
call them jujubes.
I called them Juju bees, but I think it's Juju fruits.
Yeah, I think it's Juju boots too.
Juju
Juju
boots.
boots?
Oh,
Juju boots.
Boots, fruits, bees.
Whoa, we got really close to a Nazi thing here. Holy shit.
Juju boots.
That was good. I like that. That was fun.
All right, come
I'm
get
pretty
your
quick.
Juju boots, kids.
Don't. To keep them away from an oven. But, now.
Now we've crossed the line.
We gotta go. Good night, everybody.
See, we definitely don't have any sponsors now.
Yeah, Juji fruits. Jujy fruits.
Juju fruits.
Juji?
Okay.
We used to call them Juju.
Oh yeah.
We're a bunch of blind mother... Dude, that's Mandela effect right there.
That's
I
Mandela,
swear to
yeah.
God.
We were talking about
it was
that,
Juju.
yeah.
That or the Berenstein versus
Yeah.
Berenstain Bears.
Yeah.
So you ever heard of the Mandela effect?
Yeah.
It's where a bunch of people remember something that never really happened, like Nelson Mandela died in prison, right?
Right, yeah.
That's that to me right
Yeah.
there. We
Kind
just
of
found
like
our
the
own.
carbonara effect.
Oh, here we... No, I'm sorry. All right.
Nice.
Again, this is Wikipedia. To solve it, Juji fruits are a chewy gumdrop-like starch-based candy manufactured by Ferrara Candy Company. Juji fruits began production in 1920. They were popular in movie houses along with Heidi's other gummy candy, Jujubes.
Oh,
there was
okay,
also a Juju bees.
Yes. Oh, okay. All right. Yes. Because
Okay.
I've crossed the other one in with that one. Duh. Oh, talk about knockoff.
box of
brands.
Jujubes.
Did you guys know Curious George doesn't have a tail?
Yes.
That blew my mind today. Sorry.
He's an alien.
We're gonna wind up doing a whole Mandela effect, and
Yeah.
you know what? We can do a good
Berenstain
episode
Bears.
on Mandela effect and like similar things like jujubes and juju fruits, right? Juji fruits, where like you have like one knockoff to another. Mm-hmm. But I think we can almost concentrate solely on movies, where you have like two of the same movie coming out at one time. That kind of shit. We got to do an episode.
We
of
used
that.
to watch Curious George
Yeah.
all day long.
My
I
kids
still didn't know
watched
he
it.
didn't have a fucking tail.
My kids watched it when they were little too. I watched it all the time because of them.
Not once that bare ass didn't.
But
stick-
seeing him with the tail really didn't bug me. I thought, oh yeah, that's pretty normal. Oh no, fuck, it's not. Anyway, back to candy.
off,
We're supposed to
off
be on
of George's
candy.
ass and back on
Yeah.
the candy.
Nerds.
How many did you put up your nose? Oh, that was your sister.
That was my
Excuse
sister.
me.
And so
I
my
loved
dad's going to ruin the
nerds as a
punchline of
kid.
the story, but yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Stepping all over the bit. I loved nerds as a kid. And I think I tried them not too long ago, and they're tolerable for about 30 seconds.
Yeah,
There goes the
again,
AC
they're just crunchy sugar bits. I'm not really sure what, but so this story is back in I don't even know how old my sister is, but it must have been early 90s probably. My sister had sucked nerds up her nose. She was little.
Shut up, Paul. I was trying to let that one go. Go ahead. Her dad's here.
So my sister had sucked nerds up her nose, right? And she was having like a panic attack over. She was a little kid though, maybe 5 or something, 4. I don't even know. She wasn't very old, but she sucked nerds up her nose. So there was this whole event that happened, and my parents weren't sure whether they were going to take her to the emergency room.
It
or
was
whatever.
actually your mother that was panicking.
Yeah, that's probably true. It probably wasn't you, but yeah. So anyway, they eventually decided to take her to the ER, and by the time they get there, all the nerds had melted, and she had like rainbow colors coming out of her nostril. But you know, they did an X-ray or whatever they did, and they're like, "There's nothing in there." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
That's what I told your mom.
Wow, nice. That's an amazing story. I've never heard of
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm not sure I've known anybody just suck nerves up their nose
It went
since
in,
her.
it'll come out.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
It's like eating pennies.
Yeah. It'll come out one end.
All right, so the only one that I have on my list, and this isn't purely a Halloween thing. In fact, you probably didn't get these a lot for Halloween, but I remember them in those quarter machines, the runts.
I was just
No, fuck you. I love runts.
I was just
No,
going to
no,
bring
no.
that up as a terrible candy.
I wasn't gonna say I hate them because
That's it. Fuck it. Runts have killed this podcast. I hate you all.
no. So
I
so
love-
I would not want to get runts from somebody and eat them. Okay, that wouldn't. If I got them for Halloween, I wouldn't have liked it. I don't think I got them though, but I do remember sticking the quarter in that machine and turning it and getting those runts out, and I liked that. But it was all for the It was all for the interaction with the machine and getting something out for a quarter.
Yeah, it cost
More
me
than
$50.
No shit.
Those suck. I don't like.
No, they're really not very good
Yeah.
though. Even the fruits aren't even right.
Right.
Like the banana, okay, maybe kind of. I'm not sure. And some of the fruits were like not even identifiable.
Right. Just like a red brown thing.
Yeah.
I liked them. I fucking love these things. Those were my favorite candy growing up. God, you're all dead to me.
All right, so I'm going to give you two of my most hated. Cowtails. Do you remember those?
Dude.
Jeff, my oldest son, loves those.
Those are
things.
one of my favorites.
Oh, you guys like those?
Yeah.
I don't know. I actually
Cowtail is the long version of the little caramel thing with the white
Yeah,
creamy dot
It has
in
a
the middle.
white creamy thing in the middle, and then
Yeah.
like a wrap
That's
around
what
the
she said.
outside.
It's
That's
caramel.
caramel chocolate or
Yeah,
something.
it's just
I don't know,
caramel.
Maybe it's just
It's
caramel.
caramel.
And they stretch, and you can.
Yeah. They're great.
Too lane.
They're great.
Don't
Too
do it. I don't know what you're gonna do, but don't do it.
too close to the anus to me.
yeah.
Yeah, those things are weird. And then there was another one I had. Oh, fucking Tootsie Rolls. Worst candy in existence. I hate
No.
Tootsie Rolls. Hate them. Hate them. I hate them.
You hate them?
There's no video. Look at me awkward again. No,
That's
I,
all-
re- I
that's
really.
I was looking for a punchline. The only thing I could come up with was they had an amazing theme song.
Oh, can we sing it?
Yeah, good.
Oh, I don't know.
You know they
'Cause I
don't.
hate Tootsie Rolls.
They don't float.
Let me see that Tootsie
They
Roll.
don't float.
Oh, roll.
You guys like Tootsie Rolls? Seriously?
Yeah.
No.
Tootsie Rolls are good.
I
man.
don't care. I like them. They're all right. Yeah.
The,
Go
so
ahead.
like
There's no video. Keep
the
looking
little
at this.
the little tiny ones are okay.
Yeah.
The thick one is better.
Yeah, right. The little tiny ones.
That's what she
gross.
said.
That's even worse.
You break them off the roll.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yuck.
Yeah.
I hated Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah.
That's my least. It's probably my least favorite.
It
Candy
is a
in
weird
existence.
thing because it's not really chocolate.
No,
so it
it's
is
not
kind
chocolate.
of weird. But I think it was made for the troops. I think it was made to
Yeah.
be able to give candy to the troops in MREs.
Yeah.
Not that
Makes sense,
if
sure.
you don't like the taste, like that doesn't make it better. But
Oh my God! I'm supporting the troops.
right. And it doesn't melt.
True.
Yeah.
All right, so unarguably terrible, but I love them as kids. The candy cigarette things.
Oh
yeah.
I wouldn't even say unarguably terrible. I'm sorry, but I knew smoking was bad, but I love candy cigarettes. But here's the thing. We had two as kids. We had the little candy ones, and then you had the gum ones in the wrapper. And did you?
I
No?
don't even remember the gum
The
ones.
gum ones, they were different
I remember the
colors.
chalky ones that were like
Yes,
you could crunch them.
yeah, you can crunch those. I used to love those. But then you had the gum ones, and they were a lower tier to me than the chalk ones. The chalk ones, whatever. It's all that candy was the same shit. It was chalky, whatever the hell, but it was amazing. Because we were stupid. But the gum ones, it came in a little wrapper, and there was like one little thing of sugar in there that when you put it in your mouth, because parents were amazing back then, you could blow into it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you can blow the sugar out,
yeah.
and it would look like you were smoking.
When I grew up, they had all the brands of cigarettes in candy.
In the candies, yeah. But they were
Yeah.
a little knockoff.
Lucky
It's
Strike
like
candies.
Marlboro.
Right, like one looked like Lucky Strikes, one looked like Marlboro. Yeah.
Chesterfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it would be like, instead
They
of
were all-
Marlboro, it would be like
They were all
Marlboro.
non-filter though.
Yeah. Of course they were.
All right. Here's a weird candy that I remember as a kid. I don't know what it's called, so I have to show you the picture. You may or may not like it. It's coconut, but it's multicolored. It's like a multicolored coconut thing.
It looks like Neapolitan ice cream.
It does look like Neapolitan
I
ice cream.
think I've seen that before. Yeah. Okay. I have seen that. We just
it's
gave
a-
Bob an aneurysm.
It's a coconut patty. It's like it looks like you sliced it off something else. One edge is brown, one's white, and one's
What's it
red.
called?
So I don't know.
It just says
I had to
something
Google.
old-fashioned,
I googled
right?
coconut candy 3 colors, and I got this. It's called Old Neapolitan 3-color coconut candy, Neapolitan coconut slice.
When they don't have a name brand, that's when you know they're great.
Yeah. Ruppert's coconut strips rainbow.
I remember them. I can't remember the name.
Neapolitan
I don't
coconut
remember
slice
the name of
candy.
them. I don't remember them.
All right. I have another one from back then that I don't think they make anymore. Bit of honey. Do you remember? these
Oh
things?
yeah.
Oh, honey.
Bit of honey's
Bit of honey.
Bit of honey's okay.
I didn't hate them, but
It's hard to chew though.
they're in that
Twist-
super chewy
Yeah.
twist ends,
category
yeah.
of.
Yeah.
You know, here's a weird thing that I don't know that I've eaten. Now I got to
Pussy. You knew it was coming.
That's why I paused. The Mary Jane.
I do remember that. Okay, yeah.
I was going to say I hadn't eaten Mary Jane.
But I jumped in there with something else.
Yeah,
There you go.
it was coming. That's what she said.
If you eat it, right?
Yeah, right.
Just her sister.
This
I'm going to Google Mary Jane, and it's going to ruin my...
Well, it'll go right up there with when we were looking for
Yeah,
who
the
should
weird-
play Batman.
and the weird fetish thing.
She's in jail now.
Oh, here it is. Mary Jane candy bar.
So I was looking that up, Bob. We were looking up who should play Batman in the new 2021 Batman movie, right? And we sat down here, and the first thing he says on the podcast, Paul looks at me and he goes, "If anything happens to me and I have a heart attack, you have to go to my house and delete my Google history because there's nothing but shirtless young men, so I can figure out who can fill out a Batman suit." I was like, "Sure, that's the reason why."
Oh, do you remember Adam West playing that?
Yeah.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
I know.
I loved Adam West. All right, this is like the 50th tangent of this fucking episode.
I know, and I'm not even done. I'm remembering.
We know.
I know. I'm remembering old candies though. That
Does anybody remember? I know you do, Bob. In the grocery store, they had the Brock's candy, different candies.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And there's that little white metal box that you were supposed to put a coin in, and you could take one and eat it right then.
Okay.
To try it?
Yeah, to try it.
Yeah, I remember
And you
that.
get like the white thing with the nougat with the little jelly things in it. Those
Right.
those are good.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know what they're called.
Yeah, please don't Google white nougat with jelly in it. Who knows what the fuck you're going to get.
They kind of reminded me of fruitcake.
Uh,
The jelly thing on the
Yeah.
inside was
Yeah.
kind of tough,
Yeah.
really chewy.
Almost like those little shortcake cookies, shortbread cookies with
Yeah,
the strawberry
yeah,
shit in the
yeah,
middle.
These
yeah, right,
things.
with
Yeah.
the thing in
The
the
jelly
middle, right?
nougat.
Yeah.
the jelly nougat.
Yep,
yeah.
Yep, that's it. Oh, yeah.
yep.
Yeah, those are good.
In every Mima's bowl.
Yes, exactly.
That and
Oh,
Werther's.
you can get a bag of...
Werther's, yeah, I was just going to bring that
Werther's.
up. My grandpa always used to keep like pounds of Werther's, and he would give those out for Halloween too. I liked them, but most people did not. Most kids did not like Werther's.
You can get a bag of Brock's Harvest candy corn, 20 ounces, $2.79 at Target.
See? Fuck.
Does the whatchamacallit bar still exist? You remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that in the store yesterday.
Really?
Yep.
Holy shit.
Publix had
Fucking
it.
store
There's-
you're shopping at. It's
There's a
like
candy
Publix,
store not
Dollar
too far from
General
here.
store.
We were just at Publix and I saw whatchamacallit.
There's a candy store not too far from here that Heather and I took Noah to. It was like a novelty sugar shop, whatever, because we were looking for flavored sodas to do for his YouTube channel. And they had so many fucking candies in this place. I'm going to ask her where it was and find it. We have to go there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, dude. This place was ridiculous. All right, so you got more? I know you do.
No, I don't know the brand names. But do you remember those candies that were in the little twist wraps and they would be like orange or brown colored? They didn't have a brand name listed on them.
It was just a random candy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
And they'd be like sort of
Where did
weirdly
they find those?
pasty and
Yeah.
chewy kind of, and I don't even know what the fuck those things were.
And it was funny because you never remembered what house gave them to you.
Yeah.
They just showed up in your
Yeah.
bag, and you're like, "What the fuck did those? How did they just appear?"
Yeah.
I think it's a ghost. A ghost puts them in your bag, and that's it. All right, so you can feel free to blurt them out as we're moving along. But
All right, Boston baked beans.
Oh, yeah. I love them things.
Oh, I did not like those.
Crunchy, man. Oh, they were great.
okay, I heard this on another podcast, and I swear to God, I thought somebody was literally talking about like a can of.
I don't think
fucking
I've ever had
No,
them.
no, no.
I don't think I've ever had them.
They come in a box.
They're like
Oh.
they're
They
like
come in a little box.
they're like peanuts, but they're
Yeah.
coated with this
Okay,
candy
I do remember
chocolate
those.
shell
Okay,
or whatever.
I've seen them. I don't think I've ever had them.
Oh,
I
they-
went straight. I was like, who
They're
the fuck
awesome.
is giving out pork and beans?
Right.
What the fuck?
Just with a ladle, just
'cause
scoop me out some pork and beans.
You had some proper Boston
These go
baked beans
great
where
with
you grew
your
up, so
fucking.
Yeah.
I suppose they
No,
didn't
them,
have that
them
name.
things
or
were
something.
good.
I do remember those. I never had them, but I,
I
do
didn't
remember
like them
them.
that much, but they weren't terrible.
What the fuck do they taste like? If you say beans, we're gonna throw this fucking
No,
microphone.
no,
at you.
No, they
probably
don't
like
taste like beans.
goobers. They taste kind of like goobers,
Okay.
Okay.
but they have like more of a
That's what we
sweet
haven't named
candy
yet.
Yeah,
shell
they're
thing
sweet.
to them. Yeah,
Okay.
there was
outer
something in the candy shell.
The outer
I'm sure-
shell is sweet.
Yeah, I'm sure I could look it up and figure it out, but they had something. It was a peanut in the middle and it was chocolate, but then there was like this candy shell thing on the outside
Yeah.
that had some sort of weird flavor to it.
Huh.
They
I'm
were
not sure
good.
what the hell it was.
It's weird.
It didn't taste like Boston baked beans. To be clear,
You
that would have been confusing.
You wouldn't take
if
them
they
to a
sold them
cookout.
in your hood.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
Suppose you could have mixed
How
them
about
with
Mike and
water
Ike's?
and just I don't know about
Are
that.
they
They're
right
okay.
up there with Good and Plenty?
No.
They're better than
No,
Good.
They're
they're
better
a little
than
better
Good
than
and
Good and Plenty, but I just like to mix them up and like have the different. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It was more of a entertainment value thing than anything.
All right, so I've got some random shit written here, and it was kind of a half a thought, and maybe we can kind of make something out of it, or it'll just end the podcast, one or the other. But I was thinking, like, all right, the types of houses I'm thinking of.
Give me some
as you
certs.
go. Go ahead. What do you got?
Certs, those fruit like you remember the
Holy
early
shit!
yeah.
Yes, like they're like breath mint. Almost.
Yeah. But they came in a pack like Mentos or whatever or something. It was before
Yeah.
Mentos, but
Mentos is another one.
Yep.
Sweet tarts.
Sweet tarts, bottle caps.
oh yeah.
Holy fuck, that was one of my favorite candies to get off an ice cream man. Yeah, bottle caps. I used to hate. The only thing I hated about Halloween was because I wanted a
those
whole.
Sweeties,
Yeah, there you go, sweeties. I wanted a whole thing of like a whole sleeve of bottle caps that you get like off the ice cream man,
Right.
and you go to like
Getting into that.
trick or treat, and they give you like the little 3-pack. I was so pissed. I'd be like, I want the big ones. That's what she said. But speaking of sweet tarts, did you ever have the chewy ones?
No.
Chewy
Oh.
sweet tarts?
Yeah, and they were like fat. You could bite into them. They're amazing.
Do you ever have Razzles?
Razzles, yeah.
I don't remember.
Is it gum or is it
Razzles.
candy?
Right. It's kind of candy and then it's kind of gum.
It started out as like the chalky candy.
Yeah. And it turns into gum.
Yeah, it almost looked like a round Lego because it had the bumps on it. Remember?
Yep.
And then you would chew it, and it would turn into gum.
Yeah, no, I don't know that one. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. It's before your time
Yeah.
Oh.
and after his.
Oh, shit. Pop Rocks.
Oh my God!
yeah.
Yeah, they remember when they never killed that kid.
They killed they killed Mikey from Life Cereal.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Yeah, that was the big thing when we were growing up.
Yeah.
You remember Mikey Likes It
I
from
do,
Life
yeah,
Cereal?
yeah.
Yeah, supposedly Pop Rocks killed that kid.
I
'cause-
just-
Pop
So-
Rocks and soda.
Didn't I just see a new Life cereal with Mikey on it? Only it's
He's
not
a grown-up.
It's not Mikey.
It's
well,
Mike.
they did
now
have
he's Michael.
grown-up Mikey.
Now he's Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if it comes up for Halloween, he's going to put on a William Shatner mask.
Right.
Give me my Life Cereal. I know, he doesn't talk. Shut up. All right, so think about, and help me flesh this out a little bit. But think about like when you're going trick-or-treating, right? So either when you're trick-or-treating or when you see your kids going to trick-or-treat, and whatever kind of stories you can kind of come up with. But think about the different houses you went to, either, be it like a haunted house, or sometimes you go to a house and the people are sitting on the porch or whatever. Some of your experiences, Bob's already laughing. So some of your experiences going to different houses, like I can give you a perfect example is when Noah was little, depending on how decorated the house was, he would either run right up to the person or he would go nowhere fucking near it.
Yep.
Like if it looked remotely scary, this kid was going nowhere near it because he was like 2. And he would start to walk and he'd see like a spider hanging or some shit and he'd be like, no, done. But like I can remember growing up where we were, either like most people were in their living room and they waited for you to ring the bell. And then you had, here he comes. Speaking of Noah,
Night.
you go to bed? We're just talking about candy for Halloween. Do you have a favorite candy that you like to get for Halloween?
A giant,
Into the mic.
airhead,
Airhead. See, I told you.
Boo.
red and
Eric doesn't like airheads at all.
blue. Red and blue.
Red and blue airheads? See?
More
Yeah.
for you, right?
All
night,
right.
Noah.
Good night,
Good night,
Noah.
Noah.
Love you. All right, yeah. So, and we can probably pause this if we want to flesh this out a little bit. But just think, like, for Noah's example, right? But, or if you go, like, you go to the houses and you get like the old ladies that are like, "Oh, just come in a minute." No, it's fine.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'll be right here.
Yeah.
I'll be right here on the porch.
So, can you guys think of anything that sticks out in your mind from like when you were going trick or treating at certain houses?
I either remember, so a couple things would happen, right? The couple that's not home that puts out the bowl that says, please take just one.
Okay, yeah, there you go. That's because I got that written down here too.
Oh.
Bowls of candy left out.
Yeah.
Honest, but no, it's under that part.
Or you go, like, I don't remember when I was a kid, parents hanging out in the driveway that I see now all the time.
Yeah,
Parents hanging out in the driveway, having a drink. That's where they give out the candy.
It's an event now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember that as a kid.
Yeah, because we do it here. Like, what we'll do is we'll cycle through, like, every year. My yard will be one, and then next year it'll be somebody else, and then next year, blah, 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 right? Down. And then we'll do, like, there's 2 houses normally we'll trade back and forth nowadays. Thanks, Bob. But, yeah, growing up, I didn't see the same thing. It was, like I was saying, it was either in the house, or they would maybe sit on the porch. Maybe you had 3 people out of, like, everybody you went to were, like, on the porch, you know?
Yeah. I don't remember on the porch. I remember you were either answered the door and gave candy, you had the light off so you didn't go, or you had the bowl.
Right. All right, so the bowl. We were just talking about the honor system bowl that people leave out.
So,
You don't leave anything out. It's gone.
despite him saying that,
The first kid comes up, he dumps it all in his.
Yeah.
for the last 6 years before we moved here, we were back in Illinois, and we would have a Halloween party every year at our house, and all the adults would come, and usually a large contingent of the people would leave and take all their kids trick-or-treating, and there'd be a handful left, and we'd usually be cleaning up or whatever. So we had this cauldron. It was probably, I don't even know, but 15 gallons, big-ass thing, right? And we would dump bags and bags of candy in it. We'd leave it on the porch. And the first couple years, that candy would be gone in a heartbeat, right?
Right.
So we started putting a sign on it that would just say, like, take a few pieces, we're watching you. And we didn't have a camera or anything.
Right.
Right.
But from then on, we would always have extra candy left over. It was like, people were like,
Right.
what? Or the kids, I guess, were like,
Yeah.
what? Are you got a camera
Well,
on
because
us or
but that's
something?
the thing now, because everyone like us, we have the Ring doorbell, this camera, that camera. Like, we have cameras everywhere,
Yeah.
right? People post shit. The next few days after Halloween, you see nothing but posts of people like just stealing the whole bowl of candy. You know, don't be a dick. You know, don't take. All right, number 1, don't leave candy out. I mean, that's just stupid. But if you have to,
We've done it because we had, like, we'll be somewhere and want to,
Yeah.
want to
This
do
is
something.
the problem we have. We did that here last year because we had to go do the trunk or treat or whatever the hell it was.
Right.
So I just left I have the same cauldron that we had in Illinois, and I just left it on the porch full of candy. They didn't take it all. But if you've been to my house, you know there are like 3 cameros facing you,
Pointing right
when,
at you,
when
yeah.
you walk by the front door. So maybe it was just a deterrent for
Yeah.
them.
yeah, what we would do now is like now, because normally Heather will take Noah, and I'll sit out here with my friends. Like I said, it'll either be here or it'll be at my neighbor's house down the street. So whoever's house is not at, we shut the lights out. We'll get to that in a second. But otherwise, if it's like, say, like my next door neighbor is going out, he'd bring me his candy and be like, "Hey, just do me a favor, And then we would, as the candy distributor, be like, "Hey, you've got you got 3 houses, even though you're at one house. So here's some from here, and we, so the kids would be like, "Oh my god," and they go nuts. But then at least people aren't stealing the candy. But on the flip side of that, don't be a dick and steal all the candy if you do see that. Come on, karma's a bitch. I should know I'm an asshole. Go ahead, Bob.
If you didn't have your light on when we were trick-or-treating, you got a bag full of poop on your front porch lit on fire.
Quite honestly, I don't even remember the light thing when I was younger. I remember it coming up maybe when I was a teenager, maybe, I don't know, early 90s or something. I remember that being a thing, like, oh, people have their lights out, you can't go to their house. But I don't remember that when I was younger. Maybe just because my parents controlled it, or maybe because it didn't exist, but...
Yeah, maybe your parents should just like skip that house, keep going.
Yeah.
But I remember it being a thing, and then I also remember the only people worse than the people with the light out, because I was like, God, what kind of asshole? Is there a Scrooge for Christmas or for Halloween? Because I'm pretty sure you're it. Right? Outside of that, the only one worse was the one who didn't know the fucking rule and had their light on.
And didn't have candy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And they were like, we don't have any candy.
And they were like, oh, no, we don't have any candy. I walked my fucking ass up here.
Yeah.
You better, what do you got in the house?
Right. Give me something.
Yeah.
I'll take a Coke.
I'll take that ham.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Got a candy apple for you, John.
Right.
When
I got some nuts for you, John.
Yeah.
When I was little, we had
Or the cream from some nuts.
me and my
He
brother
doesn't
had
like the
a
nuts.
10 square block paper route.
Right, yeah.
So it was
Oh, my brother and I had like, yeah.
200 papers
Yeah.
that we had to deliver every day. We knew everybody that lived in those houses. We knew which ones tipped and which ones didn't pay for their paper.
Yeah, my brother and I too. Yeah.
And they're the same people that didn't give out Halloween candy.
Oh, yeah.
You can tell.
That's right. It's a type.
There's a pattern forming
Yep.
here. Yeah. All right. So how about like the haunted houses? That's become a thing now. I don't remember it much when I was growing up.
I don't either.
So we definitely had haunted houses when I was a kid. But I'll tell you guys a funny story because we used to go do haunted houses here and there as a family or whatever. We'd go to neighboring cities and go in. So I remember one year, though, I couldn't tell you where it was. Probably Rantoul, Illinois, I think, where we went to a haunted house. And we did it as a family. And my mom is claustrophobic.
Wow, that was Clinton.
That was Clinton?
Yeah.
Okay. So my mom is claustrophobic. And so this haunted house had been built in a series of trailers, right? And so that it was really compact, right? And so we go in this thing. What's that?
Monticello.
Oh, Monticello. Okay. So we go in this thing as a group, not just our family, but several other people with us.
Right.
And they're sort of navigating us through this narrow passageways. I don't think we made it through the first trailer in the haunted house, and my mom started flipping out, and she's like, I have to leave. And then they had to show like the whole group out like a side entrance and get us out of there for some reason. And so the whole thing was over, and we're like, well, what the fuck, man?
It was an Airstream trailer.
Yeah. It was just like a series of trailers. You'd walk through the trailer, and then you walk outside, and you walk in another trailer. I don't know. We live in the country. Leave me alone.
No, but was that like on Halloween while you were trick or treating?
Yeah. I remember you used to be able to ride a haunted train down
same
there.
town.
Yeah, you used to be able to ride a haunted train down there, and you can go to haunted houses. I don't
Jesus,
know.
they crammed everything in on Halloween night.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd build shit. People would build little haunted houses in cornfields, and they do all kinds of stuff down there. Because
Haunted mazes and
Yeah.
out in the cornfields. Yeah, and then they on the farms they do in the sheds and stuff. You go through the sheds and all that with
And then get the candy at the end of it or whatever.
Oh no, they wouldn't give you no candy.
no, I don't remember getting any
See,
candy.
that was my point. Like, I was gearing more because it's a candy episode, but we can get it at haunted houses here in a second.
Yeah, sorry.
But no. You just took it off on another tangent there, Captain. That's cool. What I
be
meant was
promoted
like,
now?
Yeah. What I meant was like some of these, like when I was growing up, you would either go and people were sitting on the porch or mostly in their living room. Here nowadays, like I bring Noah to places and you'll have like some people have decorations that are like cheesy, just oh yeah, it's Halloween. Some have really creepy shit, and before he was like nope. And then a few of them, there was one in this neighborhood, and they've moved since then. And Noah has asked, can we be the new haunted house? But they had like from the driveway at the street, they had the whole thing set up so you walked all the way through a haunted house type of thing into the garage, and then they had the candy with the person that on the house was there, and everyone was in costume, whatever, doing their thing. But there was a whole thing set up. No one wants to do that now, and I'm like, how about you wait until I like take care of 5 other projects, and then we'll worry about getting enough decorations for that shit. But okay, yeah, we can do that
and be bonded and insured.
Yeah.
Right.
So like, if you're that into that, that's cool.
So we had one of those in our neighborhood. If you would go all the way to the end of our street, and it was sort of like right on the T intersection or whatever. This is where we lived in Illinois. There was a house that did that, but they didn't do garage. They built. They had like wooden panels or whatever, and they would put them up around the walkway from the driveway. From the driveway up to the walkway into the front door. Our kids would never once go in that thing. Never. Just looking at it from the outside, they're like, nope.
That's similar to what this guy did here. And I was just sitting there going, I'm just thinking about like me trying to organize this garage just so we can start YouTube. And I'm like, where do you put all that shit? And then Noah's like, can we do that? Yeah, sure. Let me get a shed.
Yeah.
She shed.
Get a he shed.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a he shed?
Yes.
Or is it a she shed?
It'll be a scream shed. It'll be a Z shed.
Depends on how many
Z-
crystals
yeah.
you have
It's
in your
2019.
urethra, whether it's here.
No, wow, that was a nice.
Brought it all
nice
the way back.
callback.
Brought it all the way
Holy
back.
shit. All right, let's
We
get
should
off
end it.
haunted
We should
houses.
end it right there. Like, thank you. Good night.
We should. All right, so we did the lights on, no one answers. Fuck you, you're an asshole. Yeah, I love that one. Okay. So what kind of before we go on to that part, we'll go into the candy that you give out and what helps you out there. Last thing, and I've never seen this, but I've heard people complain about it before. Have you guys ever seen or received candy canes, like Christmas candy canes?
At Halloween?
At Halloween?
Yeah.
No.
No, not me.
Oh yeah,
See?
yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
This is some.
I've heard of it. I've
Never
actually-
waste anything.
You remember the poo?
This is some depression era shit right here. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Well, you know what? Good. Let's tie this into what would you give out, because I'm going to move on to
they never go
combining
bad.
holidays in a second.
They never go bad.
They never go bad.
That's true.
No, but
they
there-
do go in my trash.
There's a moral story there.
I understand that. Whatever. But yeah, I've gotten them.
That's
For
regifting.
Halloween.
That's regifting on like an epic level
Yeah.
because everybody knows you got that shit at Christmas.
Right. You know this thing's 11 months old.
I should have really saved that until after this, because this is going to be an amazing. All right,
It wasn't fruitcake.
put a pin in it. What kind of candy do you give out? Quickly, Paul.
I try to give something good. So we were talking about this earlier.
I get stopped. But go ahead.
Small bars of something decent. The individual peanut butter cups, something like that.
Do you ever tier what you give out depending on the kid?
No.
Okay.
I don't either. I dump it all into a bucket,
Yeah.
but I mean, we do the same thing. We do peanut butter cups, Snickers, all the shit I like, I buy, and all the shit I hate, I don't spend my money on.
Yeah.
because
Anything I
hate
thought
it.
I wouldn't want to be bothered with as a kid, I
And
would
then
buy.
when people come to the door, I just, full hand grab. There you go.
We don't have a lot of kids in our neighborhood, or there's not a lot of kids at trick or treat.
They
So
bust them in here.
we don't.
It feels like it sometimes, yeah.
Because our neighbor, like the way you come up Binion and there's like our development, but there's not a lot of other developments around it, so nobody comes. Like it's just kids in literally in our subdivision, and that's it.
All right, yeah, because see, I try to give out shit, good shit, and look, God knows I love my wife. She's frugal and she gets us to do all kinds of wonderful vacations and shit.
Was the
because
40
she's frugal.
bag story.
But she's the. No, just get that. It's cheaper. I'm like, no, it's fucking Halloween.
Yeah.
Okay, you love Christmas. I love Halloween. Get the good shit.
I'm
damn
surprised Heather's not making individualized cups or like.
it. No, she's doing that for the cruise.
On
You
a
saw that shit,
keychain,
right?
Yeah.
embroidered or something.
Yeah, what's your name? Johnny. Hold on, Johnny. I'll be right back.
Yeah. She's,
14 minutes, Johnny. Just stand there.
the haunted house is going to lead into her workshop.
Right.
What's your name?
You have to take. You have to
Well,
take their name
if
on the
you
way
could ask
in.
the name at the front and then scare them for 15 minutes,
Yeah.
you can have it embroidered by the time they
A
get
nice
to the
little
back
keychain
room.
with some
That's right.
with some
Yeah.
candy attached to it. Fuck, you just gave her an idea. Be careful. Thanks.
She probably won't listen. It's all right.
Yeah, she doesn't. But yeah, so I try to give out the good shit. She's like, it's free candy. They should be happy with that. Man, leave me alone.
You would
know?
think so, but that's not the case.
Yeah, come on. It's Halloween.
Was she never a child? I mean,
No. No.
all right, that's fair, I
This
guess.
explains a lot about our whole relationship. She's still raising me. All right. So we already know what Bob gives out, but what else do you give out nowadays aside from candy canes? We'll get back to that. Don't worry about it.
We get like 25 kids all at once.
They live
Yeah.
they live way out in the country in a town that has a population of
Maybe 200
200
at the
people.
most.
Yeah.
Wow.
They moved
So
out
they
of the city
legit
that we grew
bust
up
them
in.
in.
Yeah.
No, hayrack ride them in.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and it's just the neighborhood kids
Yeah,
basically.
we get 25 all at once, and then you're done.
Okay.
And we give all the candy out right then.
That's pretty good.
You give them decent shit?
Well, I say shit that I like, but
yeah, right, yeah.
it's Kit Kats and all the stuff that Eric likes.
Dentifix and
Whoppers and
Some Necco wafers.
a little peyote here and there.
As a kid's not going to graduate here.
don't eat those apples, Seymour.
So, yeah, now, see, they legit bust them in on a hayride. Here, I ain't shitting you. They bust them in, like, from other towns.
Oh, no
They used to
kidding.
do that to us in North Carolina, too, when we lived there, because they knew that we were living in an area where we had a little bit of money, mostly dual-income families, whatever. So you would have the families from the outskirts of North Carolina would come in almost literally on buses.
Yeah.
They'd drop them off because we lived on a golf course. I didn't want to live on a golf course. It's just where all of our friends moved to, so we moved there. my only interest in golf is I'll drive the car and drink the beer. That was it. But they would drive them to the clubhouse, drop them off, and let them walk around the neighborhood, and then they come back and pick them up.
Yeah.
And they would. So then they do that here. There's kids. I'm like, I get it. It's Halloween, and you're wearing a costume, and maybe a third of you are kids in this neighborhood that I don't recognize. But I'm like, I don't even recognize your parents anymore. Who the fuck are you? And I've seen a lot of people in this neighborhood. So that's all right. Yeah, come at me. You can fight me if you want. I know you don't belong in this goddamn neighborhood. So,
but I said hayrack ride. I mean, really, a hayrack ride.
Yeah, no, at least that's legit. It's
pulled by a tractor.
Small town, whatever. That's cool to me. You know, here you just coming in to grab. But again, I don't deny you. If you don't have an area where you can get candy, fine, come here.
Yeah, hayrack ride can ruin somebody's life.
Candy.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
The older kids that come in with just like barely a mask on or whatever, I give them like one piece of fucking shit candy.
I did that one year. The last year I
get mad at them. I'm like, can you at least make an effort? I don't care if you are like 15 and even pretending that like your sister just went that way, whatever. You just want candy. All right, I make enough money. I will give you fucking candy.
The last
but
year,
at least make a fucking effort.
Right.
The last year I trick or treated, I would guess I was 14 or 15 probably. I didn't have a costume or whatever, and I was just like, I'm just going to be a bum. So I borrowed one of my dad's, plaid long sleeve shirts or whatever.
There was no pretending. It was the same costume he wore all year.
Yeah, probably. It was just some torn up clothes or whatever. And people were asking me constantly, what are you? I'm a bum.
See, but at least you made
I'm a kid tired of answering your dumbass questions. Yeah. Just give me a candy bar.
You made a thought.
Please fill my pillowcase.
Yeah. Now these assholes that come up in a fucking hoodie and a pair of shorts because welcome to Florida, and they're just with their pillowcase. Trick or treat. Really? I got some fucking broccoli in this goddamn house. Yeah. You're gonna get that in a heartbeat. Come on. Look, that if you don't have a costume on and you come into my house demanding candy, that's a mugging. Okay? And I've been mugged by a professional, fucker. All right, so that's that. Now, last thing, we'll go back to candy canes. Bob.
Yeah.
All right. I have a serious problem with this, and it's going to go on to one more tangent, and then I think that we can wrap up this whole conversation. Candy canes are not a Halloween candy. Keep them the fuck out of my pillowcase, okay? Yeah. Christmas, keep it the fuck out of my Halloween. I'm sorry. I know it recycles. Yes, I get your argument, and I somewhat understand it. But fuck that. No.
All right. I'll defend it because a candy cane is made by hand. It's handmade. It's hand twisted.
Surely not anymore.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Still, not maybe the big companies, but if you
he's retired. He's personally checked every candy cane factory.
If you actually get a real candy cane, it's handmade. Somebody twisted all that to make that and curled it. And there was actually a place in our town at home that actually made them by hand.
So I hear your defense, but
God damn it! How is he going to talk me out of my own fucking argument?
Yeah, hold on.
I like the handmade part.
I hear the argument, but what the fuck did they hand twist those for? Was it for Halloween?
It was
I'm
for
pretty sure it wasn't.
Any holiday.
Or just
Christmas.
to make,
it was for any holiday.
Just to make a candy.
Make those shits orange
They
and
made
black,
them
then.
once a year for all holidays.
Nope. That shit's red and white. Make it orange and black, and I'll believe you.
And
okay, there you go. Make it orange and black.
And they were all.
I'll come back to you.
And they were all Italian.
You almost got me on that
Italian?
one. You almost got me on that one, but
They're
nope.
Irish
Sorry.
Italian, Joe.
All right, and it goes right. That's me. Holy shit.
The red is for the Irish.
Jesus. The white is for the pale Irish. Yeah.
It's a holiday thing to bring family together, and everybody interacts, and that's what they made them for.
Pretty sure that's like Jesus' staff or something.
It's a shepherd's staff.
It's a shepherd's staff, yeah. So we're going to go back to
okay,
it's
Irish,
Christmas.
Catholic, whatever.
Yeah, there you go.
It's okay,
see,
it's a Christmas thing.
He's
Okay.
drawing you in.
No,
Hey,
you lost me.
You can give them any. It's a thing you can do any time of the year. Candy cane is not Christmas.
God, no. See, nope. Sorry, you will not. Look,
you've been.
I only get a little while.
You've been commercialized.
Fuck that. I only get a little bit for my Halloween, and you get from. I give people from like Thanksgiving all the way through past the New Year for you Christmas. I get a couple of weeks for my Halloween. fuck you, keep Christmas out of it. Because mind you, you're already skipping over Thanksgiving. What happened to that poor bastard? He doesn't even. You don't even talk about him no more. You go right into Christmas.
Which poor
The
bastard?
turkeys and all
Saint
those
Turkey.
things.
Saint Turkey.
Never mind.
Saint Pilgrim.
Saint Turkey.
Saint Turkey.
The Pilgrims and. You want to start with the Indians?
Native
Whatever's going
Americans.
on.
No.
Well, this is going to be a completely different
It's about to
podcast.
go really south.
How about the Vikings?
Yeah, because keep those fucking holidays separate. I walked in a Lowe's the other day. One half was Halloween and the other half was fucking Christmas, and I was like, holy shit. Like, really? Can you... 5 seconds. Can you take 5 seconds in between the two holidays? Put one down, put one up, whatever, You know what I do? I take the Halloween decorations and the Christmas decorations, and I mix them up. Make them look like they're doing shit.
She's got like Dracula on hanging from a Christmas tree.
Yeah,
that sort of
because
thing.
when I walk in, I see trick or treat here, and I see a Christmas tree here. I walk in like Jack Skellington, going, "What's this? The fuck is going on?" All right, so there you go. Stop mixing up your fucking holidays. What do you guys think? Is that about it? I think we fucking killed
We're
it.
at a wrap. It was like a 2-hour episode of Candy. I don't know.
Yeah,
what
thanks,
happened
Bob.
here.
We fucked this
Thanks,
mic
Bob.
in. Holy
Do
shit!
you have any?
How did we talk about candy for 2 hours?
We're talking about
See?
this, and we haven't eaten a single piece.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
Who
know,
brought
right?
the candy?
Somebody get these three guys some nuts and me some cream.
Wait, actually, come to think of it, I saw bags of candy on John's table. And
Yeah, see, Heather will kill you. All right. Holy shit. Yeah, we really went way too long on this fucking subject. Okay, there you go. So, on the end note, let us know what your favorite and worst Halloween candies are.
We
Some
gotta
of your
call this-
favorite
we
memories
gotta call
of
this
trick or
I
treat.
want candy.
There you
That's
go.
all. I want candy.
I want candy.
Damn it. Yes, okay.
Paul and I are going to start a band soon.
That's right.
Apparently.
It's going to fail soon.
Right, right.
This is going to fail before it starts.
Yeah.
Guys, hit us up.
We have
Best and
two. We
worst.
have two songs: the Almond Joy song, and Mounds, and I Want Candy.
I can play bass.
There we go. Done.
All right. We got a 3-man band now.
That's right.
Good. If one of us can get the end of this fucking episode, that'd be great. Tell us what you think. What you like. Give us a trick or treating story. Best and worst candy. Candy. And yeah, keep your fucking holidays separate, please. All right, and we'll hit you guys up here in another week with some more Halloween bullshit. Good night, Tony.
Good night, Mom.
Good night, Becca.
See ya.
There you go. I know.
Nuts and cream.